Live from Hyannis, it is the top of the first between the Firebirds and the Hyannis Harbor Hawks for the final time this summer in 2022. Isaac Humphrey is in the box. You're joining us on a broadcast that started a little bit delayed from the first pitch. So this next pitch is going to be 1-2 with 2 outs and 1 on. Here's the pitch to Humphrey, and this is outside. The runner at first, Cam Jones, who just got there because of a fielder's choice, which took J.D. Urso off the base path with a force out at second on a 5-4. That put Jones on at first. Luke Keishel grounded out to start this evening's game. And the Firebirds going against the big unit on the mound, 6'4", 245, Magdiel Cotto out of the University of Kentucky. Now Cotto looks in, and here's the 2-2 offering to Humphrey. He swings and grounds it foul. Jack Johnson, to my right, my partner, Luke Maley.
Yeah, Magdiel Cotto on the bump. Has been masterful this season, 2-0 record, 2.05 ERA. He was the starter in the All-Star game for the West Division. Ended up losing to the East Division in that game, but Magdiel Cotto threw a very nice-looking inning.
Struck out 2 of the 3 batters he saw at Spillane Field on July 23rd. On look at Jones, another 2-2 pitch. Humphrey waves and misses for strike 3. And that's the top of the first. So the Firebirds leave one, get a hit. No errors and no runs in the opening frame for the Birds. We'll stay here, break everything down, and set the stage for tonight's matchup between Orleans and Hyannis. The Firebirds have gone winless against the Harbor Hawks in 2022. This is their second trip to Hyannis, and it kind of bookends the summer, Luke, because last time we were here was June 13th. The lineup looked completely foreign to the one that is being put out there by Kelly Nicholson tonight. Travis Honeyman led things off. Brock Rodden, Jake Cunningham, Kevin Sim, Garrett Pennington, Bennett Lee. Garrett Gilmet was in the lineup, and Diego Baquero. Luke Keishel and Gilmet were the only 2 from that day that are in the lineup tonight. The other 7 have all left the team, so that's a bit of a blast from the past. There's also been some comers and goers from the Hyannis side. So 2 very different teams, but since that contest, which was won by Hyannis 3-0, these teams have gone in almost opposite directions. Hyannis has turned into the best team on the Cape, and Orleans has kind of languished just a couple games under 500 for most of the season.
Yeah, and the name of the game for the Firebirds is just to get into the postseason, because then anything can happen. They've been a very streaky team all season long. We've seen a plethora of 3-game winning streaks, 3-game losing streaks. They're on a 2-game winning streak right now. On the other side, Hyannis, who had been going through a tough little spurt, broke out of that last night with a 7-3 victory here at McKeon Park over Cotuit. They're 6-4 in their last 10. The Firebirds still 3-6-1 in their last 10, despite winning 2 of their past 2 games. Take on Brewster in a couple of games headed away, but I think that the man on the bump tonight, and Ben Shields, looking to kind of convert what he did out of the bullpen in his last appearance here to the mound to start things off.
Hyannis has been the best team on the Cape in the month of July. They have a 12-5-3 record, and they are up near the league lead in most critical categories like batting average. Also slugged 14 home runs for a team that didn't hit very many in the first month of June. But tonight's matchup between Orleans and Hyannis, 2 teams that are trending in the right direction. Orleans with the longest win streak on the Cape at just 2 games, and Hyannis, the winningest team on the Cape, coming into the night with a record of 21-13-6, 8-2 in their last 10. And as Luke mentioned, coming off a 7-3 victory against Cotuit right here, it's turned them back in the right direction. They're second in batting average, and here is a major reason why at the dish to lead things off in the bottom of the first in Mitch Jebb. Jebb has been just simply spectacular in 2022. Started off his season as a Cotuit Kettleer, and Ben Shields ready to deliver the first pitch, which is low, taken by Jebb for ball 1. Jebb is the Cape leader in triples. He's second in batting average with a .346 average behind Matt Shaw. He's second in RBI, second in stolen bases, second in hits behind Max Anderson of Wareham, second in on-base percentage, 5th in extra base hits, and 5th in slugging percentage. And he rips this into center field. Chasing in is Humphrey's not going to get there. It takes a high bounce that Humphrey fields in center, and Mitch Jebb with a base hit to start the night.
Yeah, Mitch Jeb just can't be cooled off right now. Guy that has seen the baseball well, and once he's aboard the base paths, becomes maybe even more of a threat, Jack. Guy that loves to run the bases, steal some bags. So with a lefty on the bump and Ben Shields, he's going to have to keep him close over there at first.
So Jeb continues his spectacular season with a tone setter for this Hyannis offense. Now Mike Sirota at the plate, trying to advance Jeb. Jeb also a stolen base threat. Shields kicks and fires and delivers a strike. So Ben Shields, a lefty, on the mound for Orleans out of George Mason University, coming off a spectacular performance in relief against Chatham on the 25th, where he threw 4 innings, did not allow a hit, walked only 1 batter, and struck out 6 of the 12 he faced in that contest. A major reason why Orleans was able to turn a 2-0 deficit into a 5-2 victory. 0-1. Shields checked over at Jeb, who went back standing up. Now he's set at the belt with the 0-1. And the pitch. High and tight, ball 1. Ben Shields will attack batters with a 4-pitch mix. He's got a 4-seam fastball, a slider, curveball, and a changeup. Not many surprises from Shields, but when he's effective with those pitches, he is virtually unhittable. He'll step over and check on Jeb once again. And again, as I mentioned, man on first is second in stolen bases. Also had a 13-game hit streak. This is swung on and hit foul by Sirota. Drives the count to 1-2. A 13-game hit streak by Mitch Jeb, which started on June 26th and ended on July 9th. That's notable because that's tied for the longest on the Cape with Cam Jones, who is still on his 13-game hit streak. Batted in the first inning. Here's the pitch. High and tight. Gilmet back picks over at first. Back safely is Jeb. Cam Jones at first base. After this 2-2 delivery, we'll give you the defense for the Firebirds. It's Shields versus Mike Sirota. Mitch Jeb on at first after the leadoff single. Shields ready to deliver the 2-2, and here it comes. A curveball just missed on the inside. It spent a lot of time in the strike zone before it dove inwards. Lefty on righty between Shields and Sirota. Mitch Jeb still the runner on at first. Nothing here in the bottom of the first at McKeon Park in Hyannis. The pitch swung on and missed, strike 3. As Shields blows away Sirota with a high fastball.
Yeah, Shields has got a deep arsenal. Connor Burns, one of the catchers on this Firebirds team, said that he thinks that Ben Shields has the best stuff of any pitcher here in Orleans.
That's saying something because Bryce Walker, Orleans Firebirds starter, threw 6 perfect innings earlier this year against Chatham, and then back on Wednesday of this week, started a game against YD where he went 7 strong innings. So here's the defense for Orleans as Cole McConnell awaits the first pitch. It's Metzdorf at third base, Nick McCleary at shortstop, Urso at second, Cam Jones at first, Jack Bolger in left, Isaac Humphrey in center for the second time this season. His normal spot in right field, which is occupied by Tommy Hopfe. And then behind the dish, throwing down the signs in front of Ben Shields, Garrett Gilmet. Jeb taking a liberal lead on at first, and he's running. Gilmet out of his crouch on the pitch, which was taken for a strike. The throw is in time at second. Garrett Gilmet eliminates Mitch Jeb off the base pass in the bottom of the first.
Not an easy thing to do. Throw out Mitch Jeb. He's been great on the paths, as has most of this Hyannis team. By far, lead the entire CCBL in stolen bases.
So Gilmet takes Jeb off the base path, and now Shields is ahead 0-2 after just delivering another strike to Cole McConnell. Shields is ready, now pitching from the windup once again. 0-2 on the way. Swing and a high fly ball hit to deep center field. Humphrey going back near the track and makes the catch. Just about 5 feet in front of the fence in deep center. A short yard here in Hyannis, only 379 to dead center. And Humphrey able to make the catch for the final out. So after all that, a leadoff single. Hyannis does go down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the first. No runs, 1 hit. Nobody left on. And it'll be Orleans coming up to bat in this top of the second. Step aside here on the Orleans Firebirds radio network. Back at McKeon Park in Hyannis. Firebirds making their penultimate road trip of the summer in the regular season, as the last one will be August 1st. It's coming Monday against Brewster. 2 more home games await. 4 games remaining in the 2022 regular season. Here's the first pitch. A check swing by Jack Bolger in the box. Peeled down to the first base umpire, who says that Bolger went around there. So Bolger behind 0-1. Coming into the night, Bolger hitting .224 with 13 hits, 12 walks to 13 strikeouts. Here's the pitch from Cotto. In there, strike 2 as Bolger takes on the inside corner. And Bolger quickly behind. Magdiel Cotto out of Fort Mill. 6'4", 245 lefty. Pitches from the third base side of the rubber. From the windup, the 0-2 pitch. Uncompetitive. Misses above the letters of Jack Bolger's digital camo red jersey. And the Firebirds have worn the vest jerseys all year long except for select home games on Fridays with the military appreciation uniforms. Tonight they have the red digital camo jerseys with the black sleeves. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Off the outside, ball 2. Hyannis with the royal blue caps and then pinstripe white jerseys with the jersey and the pants with the blue belts. They have Hyannis in script lettering in orange. 2-2 pitch on the way. Bolger swings and hits it foul. Back behind us. That came in at 94 miles per hour. Jack Johnson, Luke Maley, the broadcast on the Orleans Firebirds radio network. Team that Orleans has not had a ton of success against this summer. Hyannis shut them out in game number 1 and then scored 17 combined runs at Eldris Park. Here's the 2-2. Bolger slaps it the other way. That's a fair ball all the way down the right field line and into the corner. Kicking it away from him is Soroto, the right fielder, but Bolger's going to hold at second base with a stand-up double.
That's the perfect approach there. Got an 86-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch and just let it get deep on him. Tried to go the other way. Been seeing a lot of the fastball, get the foot down early, and then just throw the hands at it. And Jack Bolger, little inside-out type of swing, shot it the other way. Comes up with a leadoff extra base hit. It's a double.
For Jack Bolger, his second extra base hit of the summer. Improves his average And now sets the stage for Drew Metzdorf, who's had a lightning fast start. As a Firebird, this is 5th game of the summer. First pitch is a strike. At the lowest corner and the furthest corner away from Metzdorf, who bats from the right side of the plate. Oh, it's 0-1. Cotto pitching from the stretch. The second time tonight. He wings, does Metzdorf, and hits this into left center field, a base hit. Fielding is the center fielder in Spur. Bolger's going to hold at third. And a single for Metzdorf puts the Firebirds in business here in the top of the second. So Bolger leads off with a double. Metzdorf answers with a single. The Firebirds threatening with runners at the corners and nobody out.
Yeah, and with that swing, Metzdorf now 9 for 18 on the season. Just continues to swing it well. He's gotten a hit in every game that he's appeared in.
Metzdorf was spectacular. The Pittsfield Rangers in the Florida Complex League. He had a .311 average. 9 doubles, 3 triples, 2 home runs. Backing up a really impressive season at Division III UMass Boston. Now Cotto having to work from the stretch and with traffic on the base path. First pitch swing is Guillemette, and he flips it out of play behind us at McKeon Park. Stationed right behind the home plate, over towards the first base side of home plate. You got a pretty good angle at Guillemette as he digs in now behind 0-1. He's traded that former red and black bat, now a two-tone bat that has almost a copper color on top. 0-1 pitch on the way. Guillemette swings, hits a ground ball to shortstop. They'll flip to second for 1. Now Nishida trying to turn 2, does, but that scores a run as Bolger races to the plate to make it 1-0 Firebirds.
Well, runs have been hard to come by in the matchup between these two teams, especially for the Firebirds. Saw an offensive explosion back at Eldridge Park last time Hyannis came around. So for the Firebirds to strike first, it means quite a lot to a group that is just trying to make it into the playoffs. They've put themselves in a good position, but have to finish these final 4 games in strong fashion.
And the Firebirds played Hyannis 2 Saturdays ago on the 16th. As the first pitch misses away to Tommy Hopfe. And now here's the 1-0 pitch to Hopfe. He swings and hits it back to the backstop.
Bit of a slow motion type of swing there from Hopfe. Started, and I think he tried to hold up, didn't like what he had seen. Still caught a nick of it. Finished through the swing, but it was not very speedy.
So 1-0 Firebirds in the top of the second. Cotto with a long pause. It's 1-1 to Hopfe. And that misses outside. Ball 2.
Didn't miss by too much. Catcher Corona was set up on that corner of the plate. Cotto put it where he thought he would get that strike call.
2-1, Hopfe swings and lifts it out of play. So Hyannis, here's how they line up on defense. It's Drew Earhart at third base. Mitch Jebb at shortstop. At second base is Riku Nishida. First base, Nolan Shanuel. In left field, it is Christian Moore. Then Caleb Spur in center, Mike Sirota in right. 2-2 pitch on the way. Hopfe grounds this right near Nishida, who charges it. Now on a hop, will throw over to Shanuel in time for the third out. So Firebirds get 1 across in the top of the first on a productive double play by Garrett Guillemette. Nobody left. It's 2 hits in the inning, 1 across to take the early advantage. And now, after the top of the second, let's go down. Third member of our team, Kevin McNulty, standing by. How's it going, Kevin? How are we doing tonight?
I'm huge. Happy to be here. Can you believe 4 games remaining on this regular season schedule? So it's an interesting 4 games we have ahead of us to see who will be in the Cape League playoffs. And, you know, Ben Shields takes the mound tonight. His last outing, as you mentioned earlier, Jack, was a 4-inning outing in relief against Chatham. And Ben Shields has shown that he has a lot of stamina out there on the mound. He went 5 innings early in the season, if you remember, at Falmouth, and that was the longest we had seen a Bird starter go. So the trend lately since the All-Star break is for the Firebirds to use fewer pitchers out of the pen. The last 2 games, only 4 pitchers combined have seen the mound. So they have a lot of fresh arms in the pen. Kelly Nicholson was telling me yesterday pretty much everyone was available yesterday to come in for Gray Harrison, who had a nice 5-inning outing. And it was just Colin Kramer who came in and finished the job for Harrison. So only used 2 pitchers. Bryce Walker and Cole Reynolds were the only ones to go at YD on Wednesday. So that's been the trend. Of course, against Bourne, the pitchers struggled a little bit. We used 5 pitchers in that game. But again, like I said, if Shields does get into any trouble, there are plenty of fresh arms out in the pen. Jack and Luke, I'll throw it back your way for the bottom of the second.
Well, thanks very much, Kevin. And very good point that Kevin just raised, Luke. Orleans has used about the smallest amount of pitchers you can use in a game outside of a complete game shutout. Used just 2 guys, and they've been aided because of their offense, which has taken a lot of pressure off their pitching staff ever since the All-Star break. Here's the first pitch at the bottom of the second. This is inside to Nolan Shanuel for ball 1. But 2 pitchers against YD, 2 pitchers last night. A lot of that because of the healthy leads the Firebirds had in both those games.
Yeah, certainly a recipe for success. The longer that starter can go, the better sign it is for your bullpen to come in a high-rest situation where that arm is well-rested, come in, shove, get you out of there with a win.
So Shanuel, who is batting .209 this summer, 23 hits and 110 at-bats. Has a very vertical stance, his hands high above his head, waiting on the 2-0. He swings and hits it right at McCleary. Took a low hop. McCleary fields cleanly on to Jones. Good throw in time to get Shanuel to start the bottom of the second. That's going to bring Drew Earhart to the plate. Firebirds have not seen Earhart in this summer. So lefty on righty between Shields and Earhart. First pitch, Earhart checked his swing, but went around for strike 1. Kind of swung over the top of a first pitch changeup from Ben Shields.
Earhart, teammates with the Firebirds' second baseman in J.D. Urso there at the University of Tampa. Only played in 3 games this season so far. 2 for 10 in his 10 trips to the dish.
0-1 on the way. Curls in, strike 2. Earhart batting just .200, has played in 3 of Hyannis' last 10 games. It's 0-2. And the pitch. Earhart swings, bounces it the other way, foul down the first base line. It remains 0-2. 4th pitch of this at-bat coming up. Earhart's 14th trip to the plate as a Harbor Hawk this summer. Shields ready. Ahead in this count, 0-2. And the pitch. Outside, ball 1. Drew Earhart is a teammate of J.D. Urso at the University of Tampa. Both these players late arrivals on the Cape. This is the 4th game for Earhart and the 12th this summer for J.D. Urso. 1-2 pitch. Inside, but strike 3. Got a little bit fooled by Earhart, who backed out of the way of a pitch on the inside corner, and he gets run up on strikes for Ben Shields' second strikeout of the night. Now 2 away here in the bottom of the second.
Well, Jack, Gilmet there was set up on the outside part of the plate against the righty. It came inside, so a lot of movement with Gilmet going to his glove side, and also the batter and Drew Earhart kind of getting out of the way of it. Made it look a lot more dramatic than it actually was. That was a borderline pitch, and Ben Shields on the mound got the call.
First pitch skips in for ball 1. This is Christian Moore, the left fielder. Firebirds have not seen Moore in the summer of 2022 on the Harbor Hawks. Moore batting 182. And that is swung on and grounded foul. bit surprising because Moore has started 19 games this summer. This is the 20th start he's gotten. Has 12 hits in 66 at-bats. 1-1 from Shields. Here it comes. It's low. Ball 2. Moore trying to get aboard and become the second Harbor Hawks base runner. Mitch Jebb was the first, but he was thrown out by Garrett Gilmet. It was the 6th time Gilmet has caught a base runner trying to steal this summer. Breaks a tie between him and Connor Burns for the top spot on the team, and that's quite the mark for Gilmet to have the advantage over Connor Burns. The 2-1 is hit hard, but way foul down the left field line. And Burns was the Big West Defensive Player of the Year at Long Beach State. So Gilmet, who admitted earlier this summer that he hadn't put as much focus on the defensive part of catching as he has in his offensive game with the bat, has really showed out this summer behind the dish as a defender.
That he has. Sometimes you just put half that effort on both sides, and you'll see the best results as this one runs up and away. Full count, but Gilmet has really settled in behind the plate. We've seen him at times back there, especially early in the season, just look a little bit uncomfortable. And you don't see that anymore out of number 10 in that red digital camo jersey, doing the work behind the dish.
Ben Shields trying to get out of this inning without allowing a base runner. It's 3-2 to Christian Moore. Here's the pitch. Moore swings and cuts it back to the screen. Foul.
Didn't miss that one by much. Anytime that foul ball comes back on a line, generally means you were awfully close to it.
Shields faced 16 batters from his appearance against Chatham on the road on July 21st and then at home against Chatham on the 25th. He did not allow a hit, and Mitch Jebb got a hit to lead off the night. 3-2, long pause on the mound for Shields. Now here he comes with the pitch. Moore started at it, and they're going to say he went around. The call was made by the home plate umpire. Moore was trying to beg for an appeal down to first base. He doesn't get it. The home plate umpire calls him out on strikes. It's the second strikeout of the inning, third of the game for Ben Shields. That ends the home half of the second as Hyannis goes down 1-2-3, and Ben Shields in his last 7 innings has allowed just a single hit. Dominant stuff from the left-hander out of George Mason. The Firebirds retain the lead going into the top of the third. It's 1-0. Back at McKeon Park in Hyannis. New man joining me here in the booth, which isn't a booth, it's just a fold-out table station behind the backstop down the first base line, but we'll call it the booth. just for
Feels like a booth.
broadcasting purposes, I guess. Here's the first pitch at the top of third. Swung on and grounded on the left side. Nice play by Jeb in the hole. His long throw is not in time as McCleary just beats it out. So the 9-batter on board on the leadoff spots. The second straight inning the Firebirds have got their leadoff batter on. Now, to break the suspense, the man next to me, Jack Loader, my good buddy. How we doing, Jack?
It's good to be back here. I feel like we're in a booth if we use our imaginations a little bit. It feels like we're up atop in the third deck, looking down in a big league yard.
Yep.
'Cause that's how you get there, Jack.
It definitely doesn't feel like there's somebody seated right behind me on bleachers getting progressively more annoyed with my commentary as the evening goes on. Believe it or not, that's the 4th hit for the Firebirds. This offense has come to life since the All-Star break. Luke Keishel in the box as the Firebirds have cycled through the order once. It's the first pitch to Keishel. He watches a strike on the outside from Magdiel Cotto. Get ahead in this count.
That was a single for McCleary that he decided was going to be a base hit out of the box. Hustle single, kind of an in-between hop there for shortstop. Mitch Jebb. McCleary beats it out. Defense and speed, that's his whole game.
Cotto ready with the 0-1 and the pitch. Now Keishel swings, hits it in right center field. Diving and unable to make the play is Spur. It gets by him, but backing him up was the right fielder Sirota. His throw to third is not in time as it escapes Earhart's grasp. They may have had a chance to get Nick McCleary at third. I almost called him Luke McKeishel, but Luke Keishel gets a...
Could be a mistake that happened on Ellis Island.
Yeah.
A number of years ago.
The McKeishel family from Northern Ireland.
Islands became the Keishels. To make someone's life easier. Here he is now. All these years later making a name for himself all over again.
Well, he became the Johnsons from the Johanssons of southern Sweden. So McCleary on at third and Keishel at first. And that sets the stage for J.D. Urso. Long single for Keishel. And the first pitch. Again, the outside corner strike for Cotto.
Urso singled his first time up. You know, one of 5 Firebirds now who have not been fooled by the advertised electric stuff of Magdiel Cotto.
It's the first time the Firebirds have seen Cotto this summer. He appeared in the All-Star game. 0-1, drops in, strike 2. Cotto has now pitched 24 innings. That allowed 15 hits coming into the night all season long. Firebirds have 5, but nobody out in the top of the third. Time is called with Urso stepping out of the box. It's Keishel at first, McCleary at second. Those are the 2 batters that started this inning off. Both got there with singles. Cotto checks on Keishel. Now the pitch in the 0-2 count. Misses outside. Good take by Urso.
Cotto just still trying to figure out how much real estate he can gain on that outside corner. Usually in this league, it can be up to 3 or 4 balls worth. But a nice disciplined take by Urso, even in a 2-strike count.
Drew Earhart was run up on strikes on a pitch that looked a little bit outside. So Cotto trying to see if he could get a call on the other side of the plate. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on. Now a ground ball towards the middle. The out at second. Unassisted double play turned by Mitch Jebb. And again, the Firebirds with a 6-3 double play now have scored a run, though, as Urso plates Nick McCleary home from third. But the base paths are erased.
The Firebirds determined to stay away from the big inning, but to also be productive. And I think we'll take that, Jack, given the way that we've seen this team squander scoring opportunities oftentimes this summer.
Well, they've squandered scoring opportunities, but they've still found ways to be somewhat productive in these innings. Now here's Cam Jones. With a base hit in this game, Cam Jones will have the longest hit streak in the Cape this summer. 1-0 to Jones, and the pitch at the knees for strike. Mitch Jebb handled that ground ball from J.D. Urso, stepped on second, turned to double play. That's how we got to 2 outs. The 1-1 on the way, and that's on the outside corner for a strike. So a wide zone being called by the home plate umpire tonight. It's 1-2. Humphrey on deck if Jones can reach. Now Jones calls for time as Cotto held the ball for an extended time on the mound. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Jones throws the barrel at it and hits it foul off the netting down the first base line.
Part of what makes Cam Jones such a good hitter is his discipline, his ability to recognize spin and anticipate spin. So there he's sitting curveball, got a fastball, was fooled by it, was able to throw the barrel at the ball and stay alive for another pitch.
It's 1-2, and the pitch. Jones swings and grounds this left side. Going to be a tough play for Jebb. In the hole. Off balance throw to first is not in time. The ball gets away, and Cam Jones has hit consecutively in more games than anybody on the Cape in the summer of 2022. And what a remarkable accomplishment for Jones, who was not the everyday first baseman until after the midway point of the season. And ever since Kelly Nicholson plugged him in that spot, he has done nothing but be an electric performer at the dish for the Firebirds.
Jones said to us early in the year, I'm a two-way guy. I can pitch the ball a little bit, but takes a lot of pride in his hitting. And he's, like you said, Jack, done nothing but prove that.
First pitch to Humphrey. He swings and grounds this right side. A big hop for Nishida, who handles it moving toward his left. He flips to Shanuel in time for the out. So Jones, the big story of an inning where the Firebirds extend their advantage. He extends his hit streak to 14 games. Now the longest on the Cape League this summer. Firebirds get one across. They get plenty of base runners and extend their advantage to 2-0 here after the top of the third. So coming up in the home half, it'll be Corona, Spur, and Nishida, 7, 8, 9 for the Harbor Hawks. And Orleans at some point over the All-Star break, Jack, this team must have had a bit of a reckoning because they're an entirely different side than we saw going into the All-Star break, where the Firebirds had lost 4 consecutive games.
They're finding ways to be more productive, and especially in the early innings. And these kind of Cape League games that tend to be really low scoring, a team that can build an advantage in the early innings tends to be a lot more successful, because not only is it practically hard to come back, it's a bit of a mental toll when you get down in the early innings. You know, you're swinging wood bats. No one feels exactly like they're tearing the cover off the ball. I think getting ahead early, maintaining these leads, and then also doing what they did last night, which was they got ahead early and then gave up the lead, and then were able to kind of pounce in the later innings. So this Orleans team finding some multiple ways to win, which is what great teams do.
Firebirds left 1 on in that inning. They've left 2 on tonight. They have 6 hits in this contest. Hyannis just with that lone hit belonging to Mitch Jebb. It'll be Corona, Spur, and Nishida. 2 players the Firebirds haven't seen any of, and then 1 player in Nishida Firebirds have seen plenty of this summer.
Always fun to see Riku Nishida dig into the box. Goes about his business in a very unorthodox way. He's got some fans here and also fans at the University of Oregon, where he will be playing his ball.
Now, they've just read Corona's name at the stadium as George, and that has got to be the most misleading spelling of George I've ever seen.
Yeah, it screams Jorge.
First pitch to George. Strike 1.
Do you think the PA guy might have gotten it wrong?
I mean, maybe.
But you think he'd be pretty informed, especially the home public
Yeah, he's the home public address announcer. I'm sure he's gone over that. I mean, that's your entire job, is getting the names correctly. KPA guys have struggled with that this summer, though. Here's the 0-1, and Shields a little bit surprised that slider didn't bend in the zone, which has been pretty wide tonight. And it misses outside for ball 1. So George Corona. Even the last name would indicate you get Jorge, but we'll go with George.
Who are we?
Who are we to decide? 1-1, lefty on righty. Here's the pitch, and George swings, grounds it towards Metzdorf at third base. Metzdorf's throw in time, and Corona is gone to start the home half of the third. So that'll bring up Caleb Spur in just his 2nd game with Hyannis. but he had a great start to his career as a Harbor Hawk, as he went 2 for 4 last night in the win against Katuitt. First pitch misses outside, ball 1.
Shields has been kind of peppering that outside corner to right-handers over these first few innings. He's missed out there, but he's been loyal to that corner, and he's actually hit it more than he's missed it.
Shields ready with the 1-0. Here's the pitch, and that's a strike.
Goes back out there again. This time he gets it.
Right on the outer half. Shields again, he's got a 4-pitch mix. Got a fastball, curveball, slider, and a changeup. 1-1, Shields from the windup. His delivery's a fastball, but it misses outside for ball 2.
You mentioned his wide arsenal. This kind of deep bag he has of pitches. But when he gets to this part of the lineup, I like how he's just kind of attacking with the fastball. He's trusting his heater. Doesn't want to mess around.
Shields has done a great job keeping runners off the base path. 2-1, finds the inside corner, strike 2.
Both teams still trying to figure out the strike zone a little bit, as we've seen so often this summer. Bit of an inconsistent and unusual strike zones, to put it nicely.
So Spur wearing the number 2, formerly donned by Rocco Pepe. 2-2 on the way, and the pitch. Inside corner, strike 3, and Shields again conquers a batter with a slider on the inner half. It's Ben Shields' 4th strikeout of the night.
Shields replicated that pitch that he got the call with on the second strike. Spur took it once, didn't like the call, took it again, still didn't like the call, but at that point, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice.
You fool me, you can't get fooled again.
Right, exactly. That's probably what Spur's muttering to himself right about now.
Riku Nishida in the box now, left-handed batter. And the first pitch to Nishida is high, ball 1, and it's pretty easy to miss the zone with Nishida in the box, as he stands all of 5'6", 160. He's transferring from Mount Hood Community College to Oregon after the summer. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and now down low and away to Nishida, who's quickly up 2-0.
Certainly a compact build and an even more compact batting stance. Does not give a pitcher much to work with. Kind of forces you to groove one, and when you do groove one, he can do damage.
Nishida a threat when he gets on. He's got 24 stolen bases. He swings and grounds this. A chopper in the middle. It's McCleary fielding it on to Jones in time. McCleary couldn't waste a second on that play, and he was incredibly efficient in retiring Nishida and the Harbor Hawks in the home half of the 3rd. So the Firebirds go through the order on defense by facing the minimum. Ben Shields with a great start. He's come flying out of the gate. The Birds take a 2-0 lead into the top of the 4th. We'll be back on the Firebirds Radio Network.
back at McKeon Park. Magdiel Cotto back out for his 4th inning of work. He'll get Jack Bolger to lead things off. Luke Maley alongside Jack Loader, and Jack Bolger, his last time up, led off the 2nd inning with a 2-bagger. Came around to score the first run of the game. Bolger peers in, pitch from Cotto, misses down and in. Ball and no strikes. Jack Bolger has been in and out of the lineup for the Firebirds as of late, but became a mainstay when he first arrived. Cotto kicks and deals. This one headed back up the middle. Bolger looking for his 2nd hit. He's going to get it. Finds the center field grass where Spur picks it up, and for his 2nd time at the dish, has led off an inning with a base hit.
Jack Bolger may be finding a stroke. It would be about time, and it would be much needed for this group.
Well, that brings up Drew Metzdorf, who's been arguably the best hitter for the Firebirds since he joined the group. Has recorded a hit in every game that he's appeared in. Picked up a single in the 2nd inning and watches a fastball at 91 that misses at the eyes.
College teammate of Alex Amalfi, now former Firebird Alex Amalfi.
Current Toronto Blue Jay in the organization. Went undrafted and then signed with Toronto. Now starts the journey to the big leagues. Lefty kicks and deals. This one finds the zone. 1-1. Cotto has been excellent this season. The Firebirds have tagged him for 2 runs here in the first 3 innings, and they've got the leadoff man aboard, and Jack Bolger here in the 4th.
Doesn't seem like Cotto has his best stuff today. Not fooling many guys. He's kind of a strikeout guy that deception is a big key for him in executing his game, and he hasn't been missing too many barrels today against this Orleans Firebird squad.
No, he hasn't. The fastball runs outside. 2 balls and a strike. Firebirds have tagged him for 7 hits and 2 runs. This is the CCBL West All-Star starter. This one headed down the line, but it's going to tail into foul ground. Out in front of it was Drew Metzdorf. Just missed. An extra base hit by a matter of inches.
Metzdorf's locked in right now.
He's got a great approach.
You can read the lettering on the baseball. They say when you're red hot, looks like a beach ball. Read the lettering, whatever metaphor you want to use. He's locked in.
Or maybe more than just one for Drew Metzdorf, who's hitting an even .500 for the Firebirds this season. He's going to pop this one up on the infield, playable for Shanuel. Looking up into the sun, shades it with his eyes, and he's going to drop the baseball. And so the call is safe, but they'll trot over to first as Jack Bolger was on the bag.
Now this is weird, Luke. They got to go to second right now.
Well, as long as he tagged both runners, which I didn't see him do, but the field umpire at first base did signal out, so Jack Bolger is erased off the base paths. Drew Metzdorf is aboard with an error. Guess you might score that a fielder's choice.
I thought there was a moment where he could have tagged Metzdorf, who had run through first base, and then thrown to second or tagged Bolger. Got a double play, but
that's what the infield fly protects, but with nobody out, not a situation where you're going to see it.
yeah.
Cotto ready. This one headed on the right field line, but it's out of play.
You see with nobody out, just the runner only on first base keeps it from happening.
Yes.
It's only first and second or bases loaded.
Exactly the case. So Jack Bolger heads back to the dugout. Drew Metzdorf, a speedy runner that has not attempted a stolen base this season for the Firebirds. As Gilmet awaits the 0-1, he's going to pop this one up into shallow center field. Out goes the shortstop in Jeb, and he's going to call everybody off and make the play. 2 away after Bolger led off the inning with a leadoff single. Cotto just 1 out from getting out of the 4th inning.
He's going to deal with Hopfe, who has made his name on the mound for Orleans this summer, but at the plate, no slouch. He's a fastball hunter. Cotto's going to make a mistake in the inner part of the plate with the heater, especially when he doesn't have all his velocity today. Hoppy's going to look to punish that.
So I'm sitting at 94-95 in the early innings as taking off is Metzdorf. The throw to second on a one-hop, and under the tag of Nishida was the base runner, Drew Metzdorf, who swipes his first bag. It was Corona who threw down on a knee from behind the plate. Metzdorf was able to get around the tag.
Metzdorf might have heard you. He said speed runner but hasn't attempted yet. Thought, hey, maybe, hey, Luke, that's a good idea.
Swiped a lot of bags during the spring season with UMass Boston. Also showcased a lot of power. Many doubles, 10 home runs. Guy that many would say could be a 5-tool player. See him hitting for contact. He's got the power, he's got the speed, and plays good defense there at the hot corner. Cotto now facing Hoffy. Hoffy's going to go the other way. It's a long run for Sirota and right. He's chasing towards the line, going to reach over the foul line and make the play on an underhand grab. So that does it for the fourth inning. Firebirds threatened with the leadoff man aboard. They get no runs on one hit and leave one stranded. So that does it for the top of the fourth. We head to the bottom of that fourth inning, where it'll be the top of the order for the Harbor Hawks. And Jack, in the outing so far for Ben Shields, he's attacked. He gave up a leadoff single to Mitch Jebb, and ever since that, there hasn't been anything going. He's faced the minimum through three. What's been working for him?
Well, he's been doing exactly what he's done his last couple starts, and that's establish the fastball early and kind of keep that deep arsenal he's got in the back of the hitters' minds. Facing Ben Shields is a really uncomfortable at bat for hitters because of how versatile he is with each one of his pitches in any count. That being said, he's loyal to the fastball. I mentioned in the last half inning when he was on the bump how hard he's going at attacking the outer half of the plate with that fastball, especially to right-handers. Gilmet lives out there. I think they've noticed with this home plate umpire they can get something out there. So if he can keep doing that, he'll establish with the heater and be able to use those wipeout pitches later in counts.
That's always the key for starting pitchers, establishing the fastball at both corners of the plate, get a feel for that zone, and then start working the breaking ball. This will be the second trip through the order for Ben Shields facing the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. Mitch Jebb responsible for the lone hit for Hyannis. They've been out hit today 8-1, but they get the bottom of the fourth to try to get back on the board. 2-0 in favor of the Firebirds after 3.5 innings. And Mitch Jebb, Mike Sirota, and Cole McConnell due up. And Mitch Jebb has been one of the more impressive batters in the CCBL this season. Jack mentioned earlier all the categories in which he's near the top in or does lead. Maybe the most impressive stretch going on right now. He's reached successfully in 10 of his last 11 trips to the dish, including that leadoff single in the first inning. He was gunned down on the base paths attempting to steal a bag off of Garrett Gilmet. Only the 7th time that he's been thrown out. Stolen successfully on 21 occasions. Hyannis has run away with the lead of stolen bases with 75 as he's going to bunt this one, and it's going to sky into the air. The second baseman, Urso, takes a couple steps in on the infield dirt and makes the play.
Now, that was weird. Luke, he kind of ran out of the front of the box and slapped at it like a leadoff hitter in softball. And it was almost like he was trying to hit a pitching wedge out in between second base and right field. You rarely ever see that in this sport.
He had the angle, but didn't get enough of it. If that was the plan, as J.D. Urso just had to take a couple of steps in from the shadows over into the sun and make the grab. First pitch to Sirota is a big swing and a miss.
Start him off with the first pitch changeup. It had been about 15, 20 pitches since we'd seen that changeup from Shields. Something he's been working on this summer, and he throws probably the best he can throw it just then. Bottom kind of drops out. Get a guy to swing right over it.
This pitch here will be number 40. The 0-1 drops in there for strike 2.
Gorgeous, gorgeous curveball.
So now in an 0-2 count, where Sirota, the right fielder for Hyannis, has seen a changeup and a curveball. Literally anything on the table for the lefty Ben Shields out of George Mason. He kicks the 0-2 on its way. Another breaking ball. Got him looking. Strike 3 called by the home plate umpire. And there are 2 away here in the home half of the 4th.
Seems like I wrote about this last night in my game story, Luke. Whoever Kelly Nicholson plugs in as a starting pitcher this summer, save for a few occasions here and there, is going to dominate and is going to get the Firebirds into the middle innings with a great chance to win the ballgame.
Yeah, all season long, this group has just given the offense a chance to go win a ballgame. Firebirds have put themselves in a good position as we inch close to the midway point in this one. They lead it 2-0 as the fastball misses upstairs on the left-handed bat of Cole McConnell. Last time we saw McConnell, he parked one over the fence. Strike 1. Even count at a ball and a strike in the first inning. For the first time that McConnell faced Ben Shields, he flew out to center field where Isaac Humphrey is back out there for the second time this summer. Lefty ready with the 1-1. This one skied high, but making its way out of play and over the grandstands behind the Hyannis dugout on the third base side.
We've seen all 4 pitches from Shields in this inning. As he works, into the 40s and 50s range of his pitch count, he can't rely as heavily on the fastball. And he's been executing those secondary pitches beautifully.
Lefty on lefty matchup, the 1-2 from Shields. McConnell going to shoot it down the left field line, but it tails into the bullpen. Stays at 1-2. Hyannis took down Cotuit last night by a score of 7-3. That broke their first 3-game losing streak of the season. Been one of the best teams all summer long here in the CCBL. As McConnell awaits the 1-2. He's late on it, 1-2, and struck him out. So Ben Shields has faced the minimum through 4 innings. The Firebirds lead it 2-0. After 4, we head to the top of the 5th, where the Firebirds will send Hoppy McCleary and Luke Keishel will step aside here on the Firebirds Radio Network.
Firebird fans, it's Max Vesky reminding you that nothing defines summers on Cape Cod like watching Firebirds baseball. And for the last few years, nothing's defined summer food on Cape Cod like the Knack. Located at 5 Route 6A, just down the street here in Orleans, the Knack delivers fresh homemade burgers, lobster rolls, fish tacos, hand-cut onion rings, homemade milkshakes, and much more. The Knack, proud to support the hometown birds just as it's proud to support the hometown butcher and fisherman by buying fresh and local products every day. So put an exclamation point on your summer day and head over to the Knack for the type of food that hits the spot after a day in the summer sun.
Back at McKeon Park, top of the 5th. Upcoming, Nick McCleary set to lead things off for the Firebirds offense. Magdiel Cotto back out there. It's been pretty good. Hasn't been his usual self, but he's given the Hyannis group a chance to win a ball game as they only trail 2-0. This is a Harbor Hawk offense that has done a lot of damage over the course of the season, and they can do it in a multitude of ways. Got some sluggers, as well as some small ball type of play from the leadoff position. But here in the top of the 5th, it's the 9-hole batter and shortstop Nick McCleary to face Cotto for the second time. He's going to bounce this one right back to him. Cotto trots over. He'll underhand to first, and there's one away on just one pitch. Well, Ben Shields has done his job for the Firebirds. Magdiel Cotto not as much of a clean outing as he turns it over to the Firebirds for a 3rd time through the order. Luke Keischel today, 1 for 2, with a ground out to shortstop as well as a single. Cotto came in today with a 2.05 ERA through 22 innings pitched. The strikeout numbers would jump off the page at you, 28 over that time frame. Delivers a first pitch strike at 88 miles an hour to the right-handed bat of Luke Keischel. Keischel ready, awaits the 0-1. The pitch, this one bounced on the left side, right at the third base dugout. Firebirds looking to win their first game against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks this year. Their fourth and final matchup here at McKeon Park. The Harbor Hawks have taken all 3 of the previous matchups. The 0-2 to Keischel. The lefty set and deals. This one finds the dirt. Ball in 2 strikes now on the right-handed bat. The designated hitter today, Luke Keischel. Been at that designated hitter spot over the past few games. Most recently in the field, saw him out in center field. 1-2. On its way, Keischel gets enough of this one and pops it out of play. J.D. Urso on deck, 1 for 2 on the evening. This is the 5th start for Cotto on the season. Pitched the very first inning of the All-Star game just about a week ago. Keischel wants time as Cotto was shaking off his catcher Corona, going through the signs. Sun beginning to set here at McKeon Park as Keischel takes ball 2 down. Back to even at 2 apiece. Cotto set from the windup with 1 away here in the visiting half of the 5th. Delivers to Keischel, and he's drawn a full count. Keischel picked up his 40th hit of the summer. That's good for the team lead for Orleans. Batting .261. He's the only player to be making his 41st start tonight for the Firebirds. He's appeared as a starter in every single contest this summer. The payoff pitch, this one misses upstairs. Keichel's drawn a walk. An impressive at-bat from Luke Keischel. It goes 7 pitches, and he finds a way aboard. So the Firebirds have had a runner on in every inning against Cotto. Now with 1 away, they look to do some damage. J.D. Urso reached in the first inning on a single and then was erased off the base paths on a 5-4 fielder's choice off the bat of Cam Jones, who stands on deck. Keischel gets the lead over there at first base. Lefty kicks, and this one bounced up the middle. Could be in time for 2. The shortstop, Jeb, will take it himself and fire onto first for the 6-3 double play. So the inning is over. For the Firebirds, we head to the bottom of the 5th inning, where the Hyannis Harbor Hawks have the 4, 5, 6 batters coming up. Well, Jack, this has been a contest where Ben Shields has just absolutely dominated. Faced the minimum through 4 innings. Firebirds have given him a couple of runs to work with. He set himself up nicely to work deep into the game, keeping that count low. As we approach the middle of the order for Hyannis, this is a 1 through 9 that can all do damage. What do you see as the key the 3rd time through for Ben Shields?
Yeah, I mean, to your point, Ben Shields, who has seen 12 batters, has retired 11. Garrett Gilmet helped his pitcher out, took care of Mitch Jebb, who got a leadoff single in the bottom of the 1st. But for Shields, he is basically doing the baseball equivalent of a full court press. Basically, you put a full court press out for 2 reasons. Number 1, you're trying to force a turnover. And number 2, you're trying to keep your opposing offense in basketball from getting into their sets. And Hyannis' set, to draw this comparison and continue it, is getting guys on base. They get guys on base, and then they run more than anyone else in the Cape League this summer. They've stolen 82 bases. They're the only team that averages more than 2 stolen bases a contest, with Bourne at 79, close behind. There's a wide gap between Hyannis and a team like Orleans, which has stolen just 29 bases. So for Shields to keep everybody off the base path, it's keeping Eric Beatty and this offense away from what they do, which is stealing bases. And the reason that they've been able to cause so much chaos against opposing defenses, put so much pressure on the pitcher, and win 21 out of the 40 games that they played so far.
That's exactly right. The lefty in Shields back out for the bottom of the 5th, where he gets Shanuel first up. You have to go back to the 13th of July to see the last run allowed by the lefty out of George Mason on the bump right now. First pitch swinging is Shanuel, and he's going to spit this one off to the left side. 0-1. It's been 9 straight innings of shutout baseball for Ben Shields. Those spread across his last 3 outings. He went 4 innings against Chatham in a 5-2 win. Out of the bullpen, shut things down, didn't allow a single hit. Here today, he has allowed a hit. And then you go back to Veterans Field against Chatham on the 21st, where Ben Shields threw a perfect 1-2-3 inning. He did walk a batter in that frame, but got the strikeout and a ground ball double play. Just faced the minimum.
9 straight scoreless innings. You're approaching Bryce Walker territory.
That's exactly right. Bryce Walker has made his case for CCBL Pitcher of the Year. Shields ready with the 2-1. On its way, this one a called strike, back to even. Shanuel this season came in batting .209, is 0 for 1 today. As his last time up, led off the 2nd inning with a ground out to Nick McCleary at shortstop. 2-2. This one popped up and making its way out of play on the left side. Well, it'll stay with a 2-2 count. Ben Shields has recorded at least a strikeout in every inning. He got 1 in the first, 1 to end the second, 1 in the third, and then 2 in the fourth. Lefty kicks and deals. 2-2 on its way. This one hit right at McCleary. He'll field it on a 1-hop. He's got time to throw, and he'll fire a strike. 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th. So this brings up Drew Earhart, who struck out looking his first trip to the plate. Jack, that came on a pitch that ran inside on him. Gilmet was set up on the outside portion of the plate, and Shields missed inside. And then the batter, Andrew Earhart, was kind of up on the dish and kind of got out of the way of it, and he didn't like the call, but it was a borderline pitch that ended up being ruled in favor of Ben Shields.
That was an example of how wide the strike zone's been tonight.
And there's a first pitch strike at 85 miles an hour from the left hand of Ben Shields. Shields has got a big frame, 6'4", 210 pounds. This is the 4th start of his season. 9th appearance. Posted a 3.42 ERA, but that is slowly dropping as he gets a swing and a miss, and is just 2 outs away from getting through the 5th without allowing a run. Trying to get to that 10-inning mark without allowing an opposing batter to come around the base paths and touch home plate. He's in the driver's seat here, 0-2 in the battle between Shields and Earhart. And the pitch. Swinging and a miss, it's in the dirt, and Gilmet's going to tag out Earhart, and he's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Ben Shields picks up another one here in the 5th. It's number 7 on the outing. So 2 away in the home half of the 5th. The Harbor Hawks looking for their first run. Going to have to manufacture something with 2 outs as Christian Moore steps in. Moore out of Tennessee, playing left field for the Harbor Hawks today. He's going to go the opposite way, right at the Firebirds dugout. 0-1. Moore struck out to end the 2nd inning. Well, Mitch Jebb at the top of the order led this game off in the bottom of the first with the first hit for Hyannis, and since then, Shields has really settled in. Faced the minimum. Nearly through 5. He's going to get a called strike on the outer half of the plate. 0-2. Shields gets the sign, looks in. Pitching out of the windup as he has for much of the day. Kicks the pitch to the plate, swing and a miss. Give him 8 strikeouts, and Ben Shields is through 5 unscathed. So no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base, as Ben Shields has faced the minimum through 5. So 2-0 here as we head to the 6th inning. Let's go ahead and check in with the third member of our team, Kevin McNulty, who's standing by.
Well, thanks, Luke. It turns out that Ben Shields is dealing, and we may not see 5 pitchers come out of the pen tonight. He is really rolling through 5 innings so far, and Cam Jones is going to lead us off in this inning, and that's another two-way player. We talk about Tommy Hoffey actually pitched and played left field all in one game against Bourne on Tuesday. And Cam Jones was mostly a pitcher for the first month of the season. Hasn't been on the mound for a while. Now he's in the midst of this 14-game hitting streak. Cam threw a bullpen before the game today. You know, Kelly Nicholson was out there checking on him, how you feeling and everything. So he's been hitting up a storm and could see him on the mound again before the season's out. And Luke and Jack will be right back after this for the next half inning.
Supporting small businesses is something we've been doing for over 170 years. Hi, I'm Lori Meads, President and CEO of Siemens Bank. We understand what it means to have a business here on the Cape and the challenges that you face each and every day. We are able to work with you and your business by providing local knowledge and expertise while providing the personal service you deserve. Our commercial lending team is ready to help you and your business succeed. Siemens Bank, member FDIC, member DIF, equal housing lender, NMLS number 419878.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Orleans Seafood. Call any of the crew at Orleans Seafoods, 508-255-7221 to place your order. Also find them on the web at www.capetipseafoods.com. Cam Jones picks up a base knock on the first pitch of the 6th inning. Another multi-hit game for Cam Jones. 2 for 3 now after leading off the 6th with a single. Picked up a single in his last at-bat. That came in the 3rd. Cam Jones has got 25 hits through just 69 plate appearances on the year. That brings up Isaac Humphrey, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a groundout. Extended his on-base streak to 26 games last night.
Luke, has anyone told Cam Jones this is the highest level of collegiate baseball?
I don't think Cam Jones cares. He just sees the ball and hits it. And he does a dang good job at it. He's over there at first after the single. The 1-0 is swung on and missed. Back to even in the battle between Cotto, who's back out for the 6th inning. He's kept the pitch count low, 44 strikes to just 19 balls. This game's been motoring by as a result of it.
8 multi-hit games for Cam Jones this year.
Back-to-back as well. This one in on the hands. It's a broken bat, and it'll go down as a foul ball. Humphrey tosses the bat, and you could hear it. Sounded like a piece of firewood there. He'll have to walk back to the dugout and grab a new piece of lumber. He was jammed on that one. When he comes back, it's a 1-2 count. in favor of the lefty out of Kentucky in Magdiel Cotto. So he trades in the wood, and he's got an all-black stick now. See if that can bring Isaac Humphrey any luck. Last night, Humphrey's first inning single extended his streak. He also reached on two fielders' choices and a hit by pitch. Hit by pitch came in the 8th inning. This one struck well to the right side, make it 27 straight games as Humphrey's aboard with a back-to-back single. Shoots it to right field. Sirota fielded it on a 2-hop and then fired over to third. So Cam Jones moves to second, and the Firebirds have runners on the base paths at first and second with nobody out for Jack Bolger, who doubled his first time up, came around to score the game's first run, and then singled to lead off the 4th inning. And here comes a pitching coach to have a conversation with Magdiel Cotto. Might mean the end of his day as action is going on in the bullpen. So we will get our first Rockland Trust called to the bullpen. When it's time for a trusted arm, think Rockland Trust, 70 Main Street in Orleans, your home for banking, investment, and insurance services. We'll see who it is for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, as Cotto will be the first pitcher to leave the game. And it doesn't come until the top of the 6th inning with nobody out. Cotto has been charged with 2 runs in the contest already. Firebirds got runs in the 2nd and the 3rd innings. Just one. Both of them came on ground ball double plays. Not exactly the perfect way to get on the scoreboard, Jack, but the Firebirds will take it, especially in a low-scoring affair here where their pitcher, and Ben Shields, has thrown very, very well. But the Rockland Trust call to the bullpen belongs to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. And it is Isaiah Rhodes coming out of the pen, the righty from Southern Mississippi, making his 7th trip to the bump this season. So Isaiah Rhodes from Southern Mississippi, 2.08 ERA through 8 2/3, 13 hits, 2 earned runs on the season, 13 strikeouts to just 4 walks. So he will be asked to come in and hold the deficit at 2 for the Harbor Hawks. The offense just hasn't gotten much going against the starter for Orleans in Ben Shields. Just 1 hit, and it came on the first batsman of the game. Mitch Jebb led off the bottom of the 1st with a single, then was caught stealing, and ever since it's been the walk of shame back to the dugout for every single Hyannis Harbor Hawk hitter.
Well, Rhodes in the game, and the Firebirds have seen Rhodes before. Kind of has a little bit of a 3/4 sidearm delivery in his arm slot. Faced the Firebirds in the 7th inning of the first matchup at Eldridge Park back on July the 10th. It was an eventful one. Got a leadoff fly out to Travis Honeyman, but then a walk to Nate Furman, a strikeout to Luke Keishel, back-to-back singles with Kevin Sim and Isaac Humphrey. And then, with the bases loaded, Jack Bolger came to the plate with the Firebirds looking to take a bite out of the Hyannis lead, and Bolger struck out looking on the right arm of Isaiah Rhodes. That was the only inning that Rhodes has thrown. Total, it was 2 hits, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. He faced 6 batters. This will be number 7. And the rematch, Bolger versus Rhodes.
So Bolger steps in with Isaac Humphrey standing at first, Cam Jones in front of him at second base after back-to-back singles to lead off the 6th. Bolger going to square to bunt. He's going to bunt this one perfectly down the line. It's tailing into foul ground. Rhodes will scoop it on the left side of the third base line. So Jack Bolger just trying to get the runners over.
I mean, it certainly looked like a fair ball, Luke.
I think that Rhodes had made contact on the other side of the line, but awfully close. If I'm Isaiah Rhodes, I'm letting that one roll out and just touching it way over in the grass because that's where it was headed. Instead, grabbed it very quickly.
I like how tall Jack Bolger stands when he squares the bunt. He's almost inviting that upstairs fastball the pitchers tried to neutralize the bunt attempt with.
He squares, and Rhodes looks back to second base where Cam Jones is back in standing up.
Well, you got to perfect that move. I mean, that's a dangerous move. If it has a right-hander spin around like that, that can easily be called a balk.
Pitch home, Bolger pulls back, and rather the home plate umpire says he did not get it back in time, 0-2.
I think he's going to say that he stabbed at it when it crossed the bat, but Bolger had pulled it back by the time it hit the mitt of Corona, the catcher.
That he did. So 0-2, likely that Jack Bolger's going to swing away here. Corner infielder still a bit in on the grass as he shows bunt, choking up just a bit, has since pulled it back and put it on the right shoulder. Swinging away, Bolger. The pitch is outside, 1-2. Bolger, the left fielder today, 2 for 2. Seen his average jump from 216 to 237. One and two from Rhodes, swing and a miss on what likely would have been ball 2. Bolger's down on strikes.
And Jack Bolger with a pair of strikeouts in his career against Isaiah Rhodes.
And Rhodes, you mentioned it, kind of a 3/4 arm slot. Some guys really like, sidearm pitching, submarine pitching, or that 3/4 slot, and some guys can't stand it. So here is Drew Metzdorf to face Rhodes. Metzdorf 1 for 2 today. Also reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th.
Well, I mean, sidearm delivery, it's like pesto on your pizza. It's just not for everybody. I happen to love pesto on my pizza, though.
As do I. You say that as the third member of our team, Kevin McNulty.
Stuffing his face.
Enjoying some pistachio pesto pizza. The pitch home to Metzdorf gets out of the glove of Corona, and the runners will advance. So Jack Bolger was unable to move the runners up 90 feet, but the wild pitch will do just that. 1-1 count here on Drew Metzdorf.
Look, the three of us were kind of the whole spectrum of pizza consumption before the game. Luke crushed his entire pizza right away. I had 2 pieces left over, and Jack, I think you had a whole half a pizza waiting for you.
I had half a pizza, but then I made a couple mid-season trades for other people's pizza. So I had 3 different types of pizza.
Yeah, so anyway, it's about 2 hours later, and I'm chowing down on my pizza. So you guys have a good call for the rest of this inning, and I will enjoy the rest of my
enjoy
pesto
your pizza.
Thank you.
All right, break.
Love it. Metzdorf fouled the last pitch off. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Firebirds third baseman looking for another multi-hit game. We've seen him with a pair of 3-hit games in his short time here with the Firebirds. The 1-2 coming home. He's going to bounce this one to third. It's over the head of the third baseman, Earhart. 1 run will score, and Isaac Humphrey was nearly dead on the base paths as he rounded third. Phil Sebuhar was waving him around and then put the brakes on him at the last moment. The throw went to third base, but just not quite in time to get Humphrey. So 1 run scores on the productive out, or rather the base hit, off the bat of Drew Metzdorf. He's got another 2-hit night for the Firebirds.
Man, Sebuhar waits until the very last possible second to throw the stop sign up. And I applaud the decision-making there by Sebuhar, because sometimes you have to send guys to the plate if you wait that long, but he still held on the stop sign knowing that the third baseman and Earhart had vacated the bag so much trying to field that ground ball. Humphrey had an opportunity to get back to the third base. Any other play, Luke, he gets hosed there. He's out by 5 steps, but Earhart was nowhere to be found around the bag.
So here is Garrett Gilmet with runners at the corners. Cam Jones came home to score the 3rd run of the game for the Firebirds, who lead it 3-0. Garrett Gilmet swings over the top of the pitch from Isaiah Rhodes. It's a ball and a strike. Gilmet today, grounded into an RBI 6-4-3 double play and is popped out to shortstop. Way out in front of the breaking ball, 75 miles an hour. Had Garrett Gilmet out on his front foot. He'll have to battle in a 1-2 count, looking to put something in play. See if he can't get Isaac Humphrey to come home from third, score the 4th run of the game. Pickoff move to Metzdorf at first base, who is back in on a dive. Rhodes has not been shy to just before big pitches and at-bats check on the base runners. Saw him do that when Jack Bolger squared to bunt. Looked back to Cam Jones, who has since scored, but standing at second base at the time. This one in, and it's going to get Gilmet on the tricep. So he will walk to first with a hit by pitch, and the bases are loaded with just one away. Moving up is Drew Metzdorf. He was actually running on the play, but that one ran inside and caught Gilmet on that left bicep. And that brings up Tommy Hoffey with the bases loaded. Hoffey 1 for 17 coming into today since 0 for 2. And he pops this one up into shallow left field. Going back is the third baseman. Now it's the shortstop, and Mitch Jebb, who makes the play just near the foul line. So one pitch is all it takes to sit down Tommy Hoppy, and there's 2 away with the bases loaded.
And the Firebirds have a golden opportunity to make this a difficult game to come back in. I don't know if I like swinging at the first pitch there. Bases loaded, a walk drives in a run, sacrifice drives in a run. Sometimes you have to wait on a pitch that is at least going to guarantee another run. Understand the aggressiveness, though. You hit Gilmet, you think that Rhodes has got to come back over the zone. He did. Hoppy just kind of missed it.
So here is Nick McCleary. He takes strike 1. Just catches the inside part of the plate at 82 miles an hour. McCleary, the 7th batter to come to the plate here in the top of the 6th. The Firebirds have already scratched across 1. They have the bases loaded with 2 away. McCleary, the shortstop, down in the count. 0-1. Rhodes kick steals. This one runs outside. Nick McCleary today singled to lead off the 3rd inning, came around to score, and then grounded back to Magdiel Cotto on a 1-3 ground out. That was part of a 1-2-3 5th inning. This one misses the outside corner. 85 mile an hour from the righty and Isaiah Rhodes. McCleary picked up his 8th hit of the summer on his 3rd inning single. Looking to add to those 3 RBIs that he's got to his name. Going to bounce this one on the left side, but it's in foul territory. So back to even. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away, and the Firebirds have the bases loaded with the leadoff man and Luke Keischel standing on deck. Big pitch coming. The Firebirds have jumped out to a 3-0 lead, looking to add to it. McCleary going to take it, strike 3. So the Firebirds leave the bases loaded. They had them juiced with just 1 out, and a pop out to shortstop that took Jebb all the way to the left field line. And a strikeout looking of Nick McCleary has ended the frame. So the Firebirds get 1 here in the top of the 6th. They notch 3 hits, no errors in the inning, and they leave 3 aboard the base paths. So they've extended their lead to 3-0 as we head to the home half of the 6th. Ben Shields coming back out to face George Corona, Caleb Spur, and Riku Nishida. We'll step aside here on the Firebirds Radio Network and be back for the bottom of the 6th.
Cape Cod, this is G Love here. When I'm on the road, that special sauce that keeps my place humming is John Clark and Nauset Management. From watch to sales while smoothing out any sour notes in between, they'll have your place as tight as a drum. And with John and his crew, you don't need to be a rock star to get the special treatment. Oh yeah.
Back at McKeon Park, Ben Shields back out there for the bottom of the 6th inning. He'll get the 7, 8, 9 hitters, and the catcher George Corona set to get things going. Ben Shields has worked quickly, facing the minimum, only allowing 1 hit. That 1 hit was erased in the top of the 1st as Garrett Gilmet threw out Mitch Jebb, who was trying to steal second base. Corona takes a big swing at the first offering, comes up empty. 0-1. Shields shakes, looks in, and set to deliver the 0-1. This one just misses the outside corner of the plate. Back to even. Firebirds have exploded on offense with 10 hits. They've produced 3 runs. Just 1 hit for the Harbor Hawks, who have a 0 in the run category. Pitch home. This one also just misses at 88. Shields has played some competitive pitches into Corona. Hasn't gotten him to bite. 2-1 in favor of the right-handed hitting catcher. Corona out of Louisiana Tech awaits the 2-1. Going to foul this one into the netting off to the right side. Just a smidgen late on it. Shields has only thrown 62 pitches now. Been able to get 15 outs with those pitches. Trying to get number 16 here. Pitch home. This one hit well up the middle. It's going to take a massive hop off the infield grass and way over the head of J.D. Urso. Would have been a routine play, but the field here at McKeon Park shoots it into the outfield.
That looked like that hit one of those mushroom pads in Mario Kart.
I like that. That is actually a perfect way to describe it. There's no other way. It took off. It should have just one-hopped right into about...
Right into his glove.
Yeah, just right at chest level to J.D. Urso. Instead, it sent him leaping into the air and just over the tip of his glove. So here is Caleb Spur, the center fielder, going to bounce one to McCleary. Could be 2. He goes to second. Urso now over to first. It's safe at first. It looked like the throw had beat him by a step, or rather the first base umpire says Caleb Spur able to beat out the throw. So the Firebirds get the lead runner on the 6-4 fielder's choice. So here is Riku Nishida, who was 0 for his last 5 against the Firebirds. Hitting .293 on the season. Got into a ball yesterday here at McKeon Park. One hop the wall, the most power that Harbor Hawk fans have seen out of the lefty batter from Mount Hood Community College.
And part of a 13-hit night for the Harbor Hawks last night. She'd was responsible for 3 of them.
He squares the bunt and pulls it back, taking strike 1. Nishida, known for just chopping the ball in play, laying down bunts, and then using his legs to find a way aboard the base paths. Watches this one into the glove of Gilmet, called a strike. He's behind 0-2. Nishida has only struck out 16 times this season, playing in every game for the Harbor Hawks. As Shields looks over to first, back in standing up is Caleb Spur.
Well, he's got one of those classic defensive swings that almost kind of looks like a slap swing that you find in softball. And he basically just trades power for the ability to get the bat to the ball in two-strike situations.
0-2, going to chop this one back to Shields, who catches, looks to second, but will fire on to first in time to cut down Nishida.
Yeah, well, that was a blur going up the third or first base line, but I think Nishida may have tweaked something.
Yeah.
Reached back for his right hamstring, and he is gingerly jogging back over to the dugout.
Hopefully Nishida okay. Definitely tweaked something as he heads back to the dugout with a bit of a grimace on his face. 2 away for Ben Shields. He gets the leadoff man in Mitch Jebb, who's responsible for one of the 2 hits for Hyannis here today. Hit here with 2 away in the bottom of the 6th would likely score Caleb Spur from second base. First pitch breaking ball out of the glove of Gilmet, but it'll keep Spur set there at second base, 1-0. Lefty on lefty matchup. Mitch Jebb today 1 for 2, singled in the first and then popped out to second base. Pitch home, called a strike. Back to even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Mitch Jebb adding .345 on the season. 46 hits, 2 home runs, as well as 22 RBIs. Takes a ball away at 81 miles an hour. Shields out of the stretch, hasn't had to do that much today. Deals home. This one chopped up the middle. McCleary giving chase. He's going to dive. He's got the baseball. It'll save a run. His throw goes to third. Back in safely is Spur, who made a wide turn headed towards home. So an infield single for Mitch Jebb, but McCleary's diving play saves the first run of the game coming home for Hyannis. It'll be runners at the corners for Mike Sirota.
You're not going to get Mitch Jebb on that play, as that took a few too many hops and allowed Jebb to get out of the box with blazing speed. A lot's made about Nishida's speed out of the box, but Jebb, he is right behind him in terms of his ability to get down the line. Is Jebb the best hitter on the team, one of the best hitters on the Cape, but also a guy who came into the night with 21 stolen bases. Now is 21 of 28. Stolen 3 out of every 4 bases he's attempted to steal. Maybe they sent him here in this situation. I think that's what the Firebirds had just convened a meeting on the mound with the entire infield. I think that's what they were discussing, was if Jebb runs, are we going to let him try to take second, eliminate the double steal with Spur on at third.
Well, we will see if Jebb decides to run. He's done it quite frequently on the season. Well, as Shields gets set to throw pitch number 72 of the outing, Cole Stallings begins to warm in the Firebirds bullpen down the right field line. Shields delivers a pitch low. Sirota today 0 for 2 with a strikeout swinging in the first and a strikeout looking in the fourth. Caleb Spur over there at third base. Mitch Jebb at first base. Shields kicks, Jebb runs. Breaking ball, and Gilmet's going to hold on to it. So no throw down to second as Mitch Jebb moves up 90 feet. Mike Sirota represents the tying run in this ball game. But Hyannis just looking to find a way on the board. Shields have kept them off balance all day. But he's behind in the count to the right-handed bat of Sirota. 2 balls to no strikes. On its way, this one's skied high, and it's going to work its way out of play. That one a fastball from Shields at 89 miles an hour. Trying to will himself back into the count. Sirota in search of hit number 20. 2 of them have been home runs. Does have 14 RBIs on the season. 380 hitter here for Hyannis. Swing and a miss over the top of it. Shields back in the count at 2-2. Hyannis has doubled their hits here in this inning, as they've got 2. Came into the frame with just 1. Two from the lefty. Shields set. Ready to come home. Kicks the right leg. Pitch on its way. Taken. Ball 3 down. Mike Sirota has worked the count full. First base is open. But with the heart of the order coming up, the designated hitter, Cole McConnell, standing on deck. 0 for 2 today, but has power in that swing. Wouldn't like to put the go-ahead run at the dish. Righty on lefty matchup. The lefty Shields. The payoff pitch on its way. Just missed. Gilmet stuck it there. Didn't get the call. So the bases are loaded for Cole McConnell. A good at-bat by Mike Sirota. Likely that Ben Shields is just trying to get through the 6th inning before turning it over to the bullpen. Stallings still out there warming, as well as some other Firebirds stretching. It appears to be Ryan Reeses, who is also getting loose. Spur stands at third, and this one chopped back to Ben Shields. Should be an easy play at the plate. He underhands to Gilmet, and that does it. So no runs in the inning as the Harbor Hawks pose their biggest threat to Ben Shields of his outing. They do get a pair of hits, one more than they had all game. Up to 3 as a whole now. No errors in the inning, but Hyannis leaves the bases loaded. That does it. We've played 6 here from McKeon Park, and after those 6 frames, it's 3-0 Firebirds on top.
Back inside McKeon Park. For the top half of the 7th, I'm Jack Loader. Alongside me, Kevin McNulty. We're shaking it up a little bit in the booth for the 7th. Due up for the Firebirds, Luke Keischel, J.D. Urso, Cam Jones are taking it from the top. Orleans currently holding a 3-0 lead over the hosts, Hyannis. And Kevin, this is our first time in the booth together. I like the chemistry so far.
Yeah, this is exciting. This is going to be fun. Luke and Jack take a quick break. What are they up to? They're just hanging out behind home plate, or at least Jack is.
Holding court, shooting the breeze.
Yeah. And thanks to Nick Riccio, our director for the night. Of course, Laura Govin has to go play soccer or something.
She's missed already. Holland Toes on the mound for Hyannis. Out of the windup, he fires and misses down with the fastball to Keischel. 1-0. Keishel's got a base hit in this ball game and a walk. He's been on base a couple times. And takes low again. Another fastball misses from Toes.
And I think that's what Luke Keischel needs to prioritize going forward, is getting on base. He's going to be at the top of the order. He has been all season, but in that spot for the Birds going forward, getting on base is probably the most important thing for him to do. He's a guy who strikes out quite a bit.
2-0 pitch, fastball in the inside corner, called a strike. Keischel didn't like it. That'll run the count to 2-1. Keischel, the Arizona State commit transfer, will be taking his talents to Tempe in just a few weeks. And the 2-1 pitch on the way. This is a fastball, misses down and away. So Keishel's seen 4 fastballs, 3 of them have missed. Runs the count to 3-1.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting for some of these guys. Only have a few weeks to go to a completely different school. You know, I was talking to Garrett Guillemette the other day, going to Austin, Texas for the first time ever to go to school.
And there, a fastball at the bottom of the zone. Finds it. Keischel had already trotted down to first, discarded his bat. So he'll take the awkward walk back towards the batter's box. Perhaps say an apology. Perhaps say something that is not as nice as an apology. Either way, he's going to see a payoff pitch here and a full count delivery. Holland Towers is first of the night.
Well, the scoreboard operator was going off of Luke Keischel and completely wiped the count away, thinking it was a walk as well.
3-2 pitch. Keischel drives one into center. Settling under it is Spur. He's got room, and he makes the catch. One away in the 7th. So Keischel thought he had a walk. Instead, he's retired for the first out of the top of the 7th. And that brings up J.D. Urso, the second baseman out of Tampa. He singled in the first. Since then has grounded into a pair of double plays. His double play in the 3rd inning did score a run. Orleans got their first 2 runs by way of the fielder's choice double play. So not an RBI, but a run scoring at bat nonetheless. Here's the pitch. Urso takes a fastball down low.
J.D. Urso grounded into 2 separate double plays tonight, one of which drove in a run.
Now he takes a fastball high. Thank you, Kevin, for hammering home that point.
So nice. Our audience had to hear it twice.
Urso swings and chops one foul over towards the third base coach box.
I mean, that just proves that I don't listen to you when you talk. You know?
That's cut and dry proof. Can't wait to listen to that one back. Two balls and a strike to the University of Tampa second baseman. Tao's ready to go out of the windup. Got the sign he likes. Here comes the pitch. Yes, a breaking ball, the first one we've seen. Drops in there at the knees for a strike. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, that off-speed pitch came in at 81, across the top of the zone pretty much. Towns doesn't want to make a habit of leaving those upstairs.
2-2 pitch on the way. Urso swings and taps one foul. He stayed alive on a nice breaking ball.
And that was a way more effective way to use that pitch. Almost falling out of the zone. Urso did a good job of getting a piece of it to stay alive.
Cam Jones waits on deck. Urso waits for a 2-2. Second straight strenuous at bat for Holland Toes. He's ready to go. 2-2 pitch on the way. Here comes. Fastball fouled back to the screen. Urso in a little bit of defense mode right now.
J.D. Urso is just another one of the veteran hitters that has come down here for the Firebirds late in the season. Drew Metzdorf, I would put in that category as well, that just puts together good at-bats. He takes a ball upstairs right there at 81 miles an hour. Same thing. He's just battling right here, draws a full count with one away here in the top of the 7th.
3-2 pitch on the way. Here it comes to Urso. Fastball driven into deep left. Back goes Moore. Still back towards the wall. It's going to fall in between the two outfielders. Urso on his way to second, and he will be in there with a stand-up one-out double. J.D. Urso puts a charge into one, and Firebirds have something going here in the 7th.
That's a terrific at-bat from J.D. Urso, making Towns work here with one away, and you couldn't have put that more perfectly in the gap. It was pretty much both Moore and Scher converging there in left center. Neither could get to it. It was almost all the way out at the wall, and a nice piece of hitting there for J.D. Urso.
You could tell off the bat that he had top spun it a little bit, wasn't going to have enough to get out of the yard. And Moore giving chase from left field. Not quite able to get there. So Cam Jones digs in now with an RBI opportunity. Got an RBI base hit in the 3rd, singled again in the 6th. He's been a hit machine for Orleans. Toes out of the stretch for the first time. Here's the pitch. Curveball. Bounces in front of the plate. Blocked nicely by Corona. Urso takes a judicious lead away from second base. Held on loosely by the second baseman, Ishida. Now Tao sets just above the belt. 1-0 pitch on the way. It's a breaking ball. Backs up Cam Jones and that catches the inside corner. 1-1.
Cam Jones didn't like that call on the inside part of the plate. He actually turns around and asks the home plate umpire where that caught the plate. And now it's 1-1 count.
Jones peers in. Tao's ready. 1-1 pitch on the way. Foul back to the screen. Fastball upstairs, and Cam Jones just did get a piece. So 1-2 now the count. Jones looking to pick up another RBI and extend this Firebirds lead. One-two pitch on the way. Urso away from second. Tao's ready. He looks once, looks twice. Here's the pitch. Jones drives one, but foul. He hooked it.
He really hooked it, and thankfully they have netting almost all the way down the left field line there. Jones really got a hold of that one that came in at 89 miles an hour and was way out in front, but drove it pretty well. We'll see if he can time up Towns if he sees that fastball again.
Tao's going to look to reach into his bag a little bit here, get him off balance, and now Corona tells his pitcher to step off the back part of the rubber. They're not on the same page, and they're going to go talk about it.
Well, that's way better than getting crossed up if you're Corona. You might as well just go talk to him, make sure everything's good. You guys are on the same page, and it was a quick conversation out there at the pitcher's mound.
That's exactly right. The 1-2 pitch on the way. Here comes. Curveball, strike 3 called on the inside corner. A nice pitch from Holland Toes freezes Cam Jones. And that's the second out of the top of the 7th.
Cam Jones just kind of laughs that one off. He did not think that was a strike either. Pretty much in on the hands of breaking ball, 77 miles an hour. That, according to the home plate umpire, had part of the plate. And Cam Jones goes down on strikes.
Now Isaac Humphrey digs in. He is 1 for 3, struck out, grounded out, Singled back in the 6th. Here's the pitch to him. Fastball misses up and away.
But more importantly for Humphrey, he extended his on-base streak to 27 games, just like Cam Jones extended his hitting streak to 14 games. This is quite an exciting pair of streaks we have going in the middle of the Birds order here at the end of the season.
Like clockwork. 1-0 pitch to Humphrey on the way. Curveball drops in at the knees. Another nice spinner from Holland Toes evens the count at 1-1. So Urso leads off second. He doubled with 1 out. Now with 2, he'll be off at the crack of the bat. 1-1 pitch on the way. Now Isaac Humphrey wants time. We'll do it all over again.
Looked like Humphrey may have had something in his eye or something that wasn't necessarily a timing issue that he wanted to call time. He rubs his eye and gets back in the box.
Here's the pitch. Another curveball. This one catches the bottom part of the zone. 1-2 the count now to Isaac Humphrey.
That's a really good curveball coming in from Towns. Humphrey's seen it twice now in this at-bat. So if he's sitting on it coming in between 76 and 78 last couple of pitches, he might be able to get a piece of it as he plays defense here on a 1-2 count.
Towns ready to go. Checks on Urso, now delivers. Curveball is on the ground on the right side, and his diving stab made by, and he throws him out. A flip to Towns. A nice play there by Shenuel. And he's out of the inning without any harm. So Holland Towns pitches around a 1-out double by J.D. Urso, keeps the damage at 3-0 as we head to the bottom half of the 7th. We'll be right back on the Firebirds Radio Network.
Well, welcome back, everyone, to Firebirds Baseball here on the Firebirds Radio Network. Kevin McNulty, joined by Jack Loader, shaking things up here in the 7th inning. Your sideline guy, joined by your beat writer, not your typical play-by-play and color commentators, but we're having fun at this point in the season, and the Birds are playing good ball now. Winners of 3 of 4 out of the All-Star break, looking to make it 4 of 5 with a win here at Hyannis tonight. They lead it 3-0, and Ben Shields' day is done for the Birds. So the final line for him, he went 6 innings, much more than really Kelly Nicholson or anyone could have asked for him, giving up 3 hits, stranded 3 runners last inning in the 6th. His hardest inning of work, no doubt. So Ben Shields with a solid 6 innings of no-run baseball, and the lefty, Ryan Rhesus, is in the game out of UC San Diego. Rhesus has been really solid for the Birds out of the pen lately. We haven't seen him in quite a few games.
Reese's a lefty who will work fastball, curveball mix. Mixes in a changeup. Told me last week he's been working with pitching coach Jim Lawler on perfecting that changeup, something that's so valuable to a southpaw.
So the lead off the bottom of the 7th. It's going to be the first baseman, Nolan Shanuel, stepping in for Hyannis. First pitch from Reese's at 89 miles an hour is up and out of the zone for ball 1. Shanuel has grounded out to Nick McCleary at shortstop twice already in this game. Second pitch from Reese's is also up and out of the zone.
When we've seen Reese's struggle this year, it's when he fails to command the fastball, especially early in his outing. Bit of a streaky pitcher, can set the tone with the first few pitches, and so far not great.
The third pitch from Reese's is down and inside, so Garrett Gilmet takes his time throwing the ball back to Reese's, telling him to catch his breath a little bit as the count runs to 3-0. So not many free bags handed out by Ben Shields over his 6 innings of work. Only 1 walk. That coming in the 6th inning. There's strike 1 from Ryan Reeses, an 89-mile-an-hour fastball. And here in Hyannis, you can hear the trains coming into the station. It's somewhat of a transportation hub of Cape Cod. And that's in for strike 2, so Ryan Reeses has found the zone here against Shanuel, and he draws the count to 3-2.
Builds the count up the hard way. Bat all the way back. Now you're 1 pitch away.
Infield pretty much straight up. J.D. Urso shaded a little bit to his left. Next pitch from Reeses is fouled off to the right. Way out of play, so we'll do 3-2 all over again.
Shanuel really had that timed up, but Reeses gets it in on his hands just enough to the point where he can't get extended. Does get the barrel to it, but getting the barrel to a ball that far inside, that far out front of the plate, you're going to hook it badly foul, and he did. Another payoff coming here.
Shanuel kind of crowds the plate there in the left-handed batter's box. Reeses trying to run him in. That next pitch is fouled off. So a battle here to open the bottom half of the 7th inning between Ryan Reeses and Noah Shanuel. So it's 4, 5, 6 due up for the Harbor Hawks, starting with Shanuel here. And Reeses comes set. Here's the next 3-2. Down in the zone, fouled off. And we'll do it all over again. That one down the Firebirds bullpen, where Cole Stallings is staying warm. I think Cole Stallings has thrown more pitches in the bullpen over the past 3 days than he has in a game all season long. He's been hot and ready.
Little Caesars.
And that one's in the dirt for ball 4. So Reeses goes 3 straight balls, battles all the way back to get 2 strikes on Shanuel, and then a couple of foul balls later, he's on first base with a walk.
I was wondering if, after a steady diet of fastballs, Reeses had the guts to go with the breaking ball in a 3-ball count. Turns out they did, but the execution just wasn't there. He throws a 59-footer. Harbor Hawks have life.
Yeah, pretty much directly in front of the plate. The first pitch to Earhart is flied up in the infield, and Nick McCleary's going to be right under it. Barely had to move, and that's 1 out. Shanuel will remain at first base.
Bit of a cardinal sin there from Earhart after a walk. You swing at the first pitch and you pop it up. So Reeses goes from on the ropes to leaving the bail bond office with a smirk on his face.
Yeah, he'll take that one out now. We'll see if he can roll a ground ball here as Christian Moore steps to the plate for Hyannis. First pitch in the dirt. Nice stop by Garrett Gillimet.
Right now, Reeses doesn't have much feel for either of his off-speed pitches.
Firebirds have 11 hits, just 3 runs on the night. Only 3 hits for Hyannis on the day, all 3 coming against Ben Shields, who did a really nice job over 6 innings of work. The next pitch from Reeses is swung on and miss. 90 miles an hour fastball right by Moore, and the count goes to 1-1.
With the arm slot that Rhesus works with coming from a little bit higher than lefty 3/4, but his delivery hides the ball really well. That makes him almost better against righties than he is against lefties. If he can pour that fastball in at 90, will play. 90 from that left side, deceptive as he is, plays like 93.
And that ball from Moore is swung on and hit into deep center. Humphrey going back almost at the wall, and he makes the catch. Humphrey turned one way, then the other, and was able to camp under it. And we have 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. As Jack Johnson mentioned earlier in this ball game, only Humphrey's second start out there in center field, the first one coming at YD on Wednesday afternoon.
Right, the great center field trials of the Orleans Firebirds in the post-Travis Honeyman era. For the last couple weeks, since Honeyman went down after getting hit by a pitch on the hand.
And quickly, Ryan Rhesus throws that one in the dirt. Gilmet's going to try and get Shanuel at second, and he can't do it.
Gilmet had a nice recovery there. Just kind of, Urso thought the ball was going to be picked. It kind of hit him in the palm. He had to make sure he had it before he went and applied the tag. And Shanuel able to just get under it. You can see the frustration on Gilmet's face when you make a block on that in a really tough pitch, and a recovery as clean as he did. Almost had enough to throw him out.
Yes, Rhesus thought he might be getting out of that inning on a ball in the dirt. It was an off-speed pitch. Gilmet kept it in front of him, and Shanuel kind of broke when he saw it was in the dirt. There was a play out there at second, but Shanuel was able to get in under the tag. The second pitch to Corona is a fastball up and in out of the zone, so the count goes to 2-0 against Corona, who had a base hit his last time up at bat. Was later gunned down at second base. And doing the catching for Hyannis tonight. He skies that one into left field. And Bolger's going to try and find it in the lights. He does. And Ryan Rhesus avoids trouble with the leadoff walk and gets out of the 7th unscathed. The Birds still lead it 3-0 going into the top of the 8th. And due up for the Firebirds is going to be Jack Bolger, Drew Metzdorf, and Garrett Gilmet. So we'll take a quick break here on the Firebirds Radio Network and be back for the last 2 innings of this ball game here at Hyannis.
Welcome back to McKeon Park. Top of the 8th inning on deck. Middle of the Firebirds order due up. It's going to be Jack Bolger, Drew Metzdorf, and Garrett Gilmet. They're going to face A new arm for Hyannis. It's Tommy O'Rourke.
O'Rourke out of Stanford comes into today at 0-1 with a 6.10 ERA for the Harbor Hawks.
Bolger working on a 2-for-3 day. Takes a fastball off the inside corner. At 95, O'Rourke says, wake up, everybody.
Yeah, hello. Might be seeing those numbers tomorrow with Patrick Riley on the bump against Brewster, but 95, that'll turn some heads.
Misses down and in with a fastball at the same velocity. So Bolger's seen two heaters, and he's looked at them both. It's 2-0. Bends down to grab some dirt in the batter's box, as he does between nearly every pitch. That old-time look, no batting gloves. 2-0 pitch on the way. Here comes. Bolger swings and flies one out to center field. Spur started back, now sprinting in. It's going to fall in front of him. Off the bat, looked like a harmless fly ball. Spur lost it in the twilight sky, and Jack Bolger's got himself his third base hit of the night.
Well, I was going to say, as that went up in the air, personally, from where we're seated, it kind of got out of the glare of the lights. So it was hard to see, and then Jack Bolger had the same problem. Last inning, was able to camp under that ball to get Ryan Reeses out of the inning, but you could kind of tell right away that Spur really couldn't see it in the lights, and it was just too far of a trek to get under that one.
So Drew Metzdorf steps in, and he watches a fastball on the outside corner for strike one. Metzdorf himself has been on. He's singled twice. UMass Boston product just keeps hitting for Orleans. 0-1 pitch on the way. Here comes a curveball that out of the zone, down and away. Watched by Metzdorf, 1-1 the count.
Yeah, Metzdorf now a measly 8 for 17 on this season. That's a 470 average. With 5 RBIs, he's been clutch. I mentioned that before the game yesterday, especially in Monday night against Chatham, that 5-2 come from behind win. He had 2 RBIs to take the lead against the Anglers.
This time he's fooled by the breaking ball in a similar location. Tried to check his swing, was unsuccessful. So 1-2 the count now. And O'Rourke, who feels like he had an out stolen from him by the night sky here in Hyannis. Works 1-2 pitch out of the stretch. Bolger leads away from first. Here's the pitch. Metzdorf watches a curveball. Down and away. 2-2.
Thievery from the night sky, if you will. Tommy O'Rourke trying to battle back here against Metzdorf.
Garrett Gilmet waits on deck. And Drew Metzdorf waits for a 2-2 offering. O'Rourke set at the chest now. Delivers. Metzdorf pops one up in foul ground. It's going to stay in play. Corona wants it. Now no one wants it. And it drops foul. So Tommy O'Rourke feels like he's gotten 2 outs with harmless fly balls. Neither have been caught by the Harbor Hawk defense. And that time Corona and Shanuel caught looking at each other. And Drew Metzdorf has a second life.
Yeah, we're not out there, Jack, so we don't really know what they're seeing, but if it's the same thing as us, I guess that wasn't that far from us. I lost that ball too. Not quite sure where it was, and it was pretty much Corona and Shanuel just kind of looking up, then looking down at each other, and then there came the ball right in between them.
So a 2-2 pitch from Metzdorf on the way. Here comes. Curveball just misses down low. O'Rourke went with the breaking ball. He's buried a couple times in this at bat. This time he hung it just at the bottom of the zone. A little bit too low. Kevin, I gave Spur the benefit of the twilight sky. I don't know if I can go back to that excuse for Corona and Shanuel, but something is up here. Now Metzdorf wants time as he awaits the 3-2 pitch.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they have pretty standard lights out here. There's quite a few light stands all over the diamond. I don't know what it is.
Set just below the chin. 3-2 pitch on the way. Metzdorf grounds one foul just past the third base coach's box. And he's going to need a new piece of lumber.
Yeah, that one off the end of the bat, even though he pulled it, just really just turned on that 92-mile-an-hour fastball. And you could hear it. It might be a little chip there at the end of the bat, but didn't sound quite right, so Metzdorf will go get a new piece of lumber and be back for the 3-2 count.
Just caught Nolan Samuel kind of gazing up at the heavens, probably wondering himself what went wrong there, as both he and Corona could not locate that high pop.
Yeah, or asking the baseball gods why there aren't 2 outs on the scoreboard, but
O'Rourke certainly is. Induced the fly ball to center field, looked harmless off the bat. Spur lost it, and the pop-up from Metzdorf.
I mean, similar to Ben Shields there in the bottom half of the 6th inning when Urso gets that bad hop over at second. Leadoff man is on when you're expecting a 4-3 ground out.
3-2 pitch on the way. Metzdorf chops it foul again over on that third base side. So he's putting together a nice at-bat here. Felt like he was gifted second life a few pitches ago. Fighting the deep battle here. Will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. The next offering will be the 9th.
And this is what we talked about, Jack, when J.D. Urso was up at the plate. These newcomers for the Firebirds putting together really good at-bats. And what did Urso do? Drove one to deep left center for a double.
Payoff pitch on the way. Metzdorf swings and misses. The high fastball got him. So justice is served. O'Rourke gets the out he earned earlier in this at-bat. And that brings up Garrett Gilmet.
Dun-dun. Yeah, that was a really good pitch from Tommy O'Rourke. Kind of knew where he wanted to go with that high fastball and just blew it by Metzdorf for out number 1.
By the time Metzdorf decided to put on the brakes, it was too late. So Bulger remains at first, and Gilmet digs in. Here's the pitch to him. His first pitch swinging, surprise, surprise, and it's chopped foul up on the third base side. Gilmet loves sitting on that first pitch, especially when it's a fastball. His eyes get real big. He swings from that back foot. That time chopped it foul. It's 0-1.
Yeah, it seems like Gilmet's been out in front of most everything tonight. 2 groundouts to short before getting hit by a pitch in his last at-bat. Of course, that foul ball on the first pitch of this at-bat went off to the left.
Now a curveball misses down low. Gilmet lays off to even the count at 1-1.
Curveball here from O'Rourke is significantly different than the curveball you saw last inning from Towns that kind of came slower, more like a 12-6. This one
1-1 pitch, driven to left field. Gilmet gets into this one. Way back it goes, and it's caught on the warning track. Gilmet put a little top spin on that one. He got all of it. Knocked down by a strong wind going left to right tonight.
Yeah, that was unfortunate for Gilmet. He really got into that one, and Moore had to go all the way back to the fence to make the play. It seemed like Jack Bulger was pretty much around second base if that one was to land in play.
Kevin, I do not know how that ball stayed in the yard.
I mean, it must be the gusty winds out here tonight. It is.
You can see the flag is
pretty windy.
Definitely facing one way. Stinson next up. He fouls one off. Got a fastball on the first pitch. Almost a Gilmetian blast. Instead, it dies on the warning track. 0-1 to Stinson now with 2 outs. Bulger, who reached on a single, remains at first. O'Rourke sets, now delivers to Stinson. Takes a changeup just off the inside corner. Nice change of speeds there from O'Rourke.
Jacob Stinson will have a chance to swing away here. 1-1 count. Laid down 2 bunts yesterday against YD.
Stinson cuts at a fastball and fouls another one off, runs the count to 1-2. So Tommy O'Rourke gets a pop-up to center that falls, gets a foul pop-up that falls, and Gilmet tattoos one to left that's caught.
That gosh darn wind.
Whatever it was. 1-2 pitch to Stinson on the way. Fastball up and away, taken high for ball 2.
And now Jacob Stinson putting together pretty good at bat. Making our work for this one as Bulger still stands on first base after that leadoff base hit to center field.
2-2 pitch to Stinson. Here comes Bulger's on the move, and Stinson gets into one to right. It is high, deep to right field, and at the wall, it's caught. Sirota went back on the track, makes a spectacular leaping grab to end the inning. So O'Rourke pitches through an eventful top of the eighth. In the end, he allows no runs on just the one hit. We'll go to the bottom half, and we'll send it over to Kevin McNulty, who you just heard on color commentary. He's got a history lesson for everybody.
Yeah, I'm the second member of the team tonight, aren't I, Jack? And today's history lesson is an interesting one. I'm not going to do a history lesson about the history lesson, but this is the birthplace of the Cape League history lesson. It was back on June 13th, Monday, June 13th. We were playing here at Hyannis, as Jack and Luke mentioned earlier in the broadcast, that we haven't been here in over a month and a half. It's been a while since the Birds have played the Hawks at their place. But today's Cape League history lesson, brought to you by The Rail, is an interesting one, and it has to relate to politics a little bit. It's actually the town team in Hyannis back in 1929. It wasn't quite the modern era where the teams are affiliated with the NCAA. They were just town teams put together. It was still a heralded league, but back in 1929, there was a benefit concert for the Hyannis Ball Club, and Honey Fitz, the grandfather of John Fitzgerald Kennedy, sang at the benefit concert in 1929 for the Hyannis Ball Club. So I was looking for a little Kennedy connection to this ball club because the Kennedy compound is located in Hyannisport, not too far from here on the south end of Cape Cod, and I found it. So it's Honey Fitz, John F. Fitzgerald, who sang in 1929 for the Hyannis benefit concert for this very team in this town on Cape Cod. And as we get set for the bottom half of the eighth inning, the Birds still lead at 3-0. 12 hits and only 3 runs in the game, but the Birds pitching staff has been pretty stellar once again, allowing just 3 hits over 7 innings thus far. And now we're going to see the righty, Cole Stallings, in the game. Number 23 out of Stetson University in Florida. He made his first appearance of the season on this mound. He started the game and actually took home the loss on June 13th against the Harbor Hawks. And stepping in for Hyannis is the center fielder, Caleb Spur, to lead things off here in the bottom half of the eighth. And the first pitch from Stallings is a ball off the inside portion of the plate. And it's a 1-0 count. Stallings out of the windup with the over-the-head delivery, and that's in for a strike. 90-mile-an-hour fastball, and, you know, I like to keep tabs on Cole Stallings' velocity because about midway through the season, he was suffering from dead arm, and his velo was down about 5 miles an hour as he throws that curveball low for ball 2.
Definitely been an interesting summer for Stallings. A lot of guys would have shut down after that sort of dead arm issue as that ball's slapped back up the box.
Yeah, that ball smoked for Spur. And that's a base hit to lead things off in the eighth for Hyannis. But yeah, as you mentioned, it was a dead arm issue. He was shut down for almost 3 weeks. Stayed out here with the team, was able to get back in here, and then you saw 91-92 back on the scoreboard where he had been with his fastball was about 85-86, which you wouldn't expect. He wasn't in any amounts of pain. He just really needed the rest, and now we see him throwing that fastball at 90 miles an hour here tonight. It's been a minute since we even saw Stallings in the game. Like I mentioned and was joking earlier, he's been up and ready in the bullpen the past couple of games, but Kelly Nicholson opting to just go with one reliever over the past 2 games. So in steps Riku Nishida will be attending the University of Oregon next year. The first pitch from Stallings is in for a strike. Nishida thought about it. Didn't go all the way around, but nonetheless, it's 0-1. Nishida, pair of groundouts thus far tonight. One over there to Nick McCleary, and then right back to Ben Shields in the 6th. Nishida, one of the most electrifying players on the Cape this season. He can steal a bag. He's got 24 stolen bases coming into today, leading the Cape League. Stallings will go check on Spur as the count still stands at 0-1. Stallings out of the stretch. Comes with a high fastball, but that's way up and out of the zone for ball 1. So Cam Jones holding on Spur at first base. No sign that he's going to go anywhere over there. Nishida chokes up. No batting gloves for him either, and he waves at that one for strike number 2. Nice little off-speed pitch from Stallings. Kind of moved all the way across the zone. This a righty to lefty matchup. Nishida, a guy who can really fly, as we mentioned, but he gets out of the box pretty quickly as well. He kind of has a slap swing that allows him to be on the move right away. We saw it earlier in the game. And the 1-2 pitch is just off the zone for Stallings, and that'll draw the count to 2-2.
Stallings left that breaking ball up. Did not finish it, kind of dropped his elbow. See a good curveball, you want to stick that arm up top so you only have vertical movement.
And 2-2 is fouled off, straight back from Nishida.
Nishida putting together a good battle now, as he normally does.
And Nishida, Cape League All-Star, not only heralded for his speed on the bases, but he can hit as well. He's 32 for 109 on the season, 293. And that one's fielded in the infield by Urso, and he throws on to first for a double play. He went unassisted, was able to tag Spur in the baseline, and went on to Cam Jones, so that'll be a 4-3 double play. Spectacular job by J.D. Urso, who charged that one, laid the tag on Spur, and went on to first for out number 2, and that's not an easy guy to beat over there at first in Nishida.
No, and it comes a little bit of a base running error by Spur. You're taught to kind of backpedal in that situation, just make absolute certain that your buddy's got a chance to get to first base. Spur just kind of hit the deck. Urso, because the ball was hit so hard, able to reach down, apply the tag to Spur, and throw to first to get Riku Nishida just in the nick of time.
He was pretty much positioned perfectly to take a couple steps in, as that one's in for a strike to Mitch Jebb, leadoff man for Hyannis, who's 2 for 3 tonight, a pair of singles, but has not come around to score. Obviously, Harbor Hawks haven't had a run go up on that board yet. So count is 0-1. Stallings out of the windup. Will go with the fastball low in the zone, and it's just over the outstretched glove of Nick McCleary. So Mitch Jebb has his 3rd hit of the night, but thankfully for Cole Stallings, Spur is off of the base paths, and there's nobody ahead of Jebb. But once again, you have a stolen base threat out there, and Mitch Jebb, who was gunned down by Garrett Gilmet earlier in this game.
McCleary, as good as he is with the glove, not the most towering stature at shortstop, just comes up about 3 or 4 inches short of that one.
That one was just off the end of the bat from Jebb. Was just kind of able to muscle it over the head of McCleary for a base hit. First pitch from Stallings is in for a strike. Right down the pipe, 90 miles an hour, and he's ahead in the count.
Stallings will work out of the stretch. Again, he's been kind of in and out. Usually with relievers, you like to see him more compact delivery, usually only out of the stretch, but Stallings goes with that overhead delivery now with check over. Did not like Jebb's lead over there.
Well, as I mentioned, Jebb is always a threat to take off. Got quite a few stolen bases on the season himself. Gunned down earlier in the game by Garrett Gilmet. So Stallings, the righty from Stetson, comes set, and the 0-1 is in and out of the zone to Mike Sirota, the right fielder, who's gone down on strikes twice tonight and also walked in the 6th inning. So 1 aboard with 2 outs. Next pitch from Stallings fouled away, back over our heads and out of play.
Stallings in a good battle here.
Count stands at 1-2, and after the fastball, you think he goes with the breaking stuff here, Loader?
I think he's going to either bury a breaking ball or go with a high fastball. See what Gilmet wants, what he sets up for.
And it's a breaking ball low, but out of the zone, so Gilmet's going to have to toss it back to Stallings, who will put his sports glasses back on and get right back on the rubber. Stallings works pretty quickly, which I like to see. Sirota, the righty, with Jebb at first base. Deuce is wild here in the bottom of the 8th. Pitch from Stallings is a fastball down the pipe and right by Sirota. That's his 3rd K of the night, and Cole Stallings works a beautiful 8th inning and keeps the score at 3-0 Firebirds heading into the top of the 9th. And Jack Loader, it's been a pleasure being over the airwaves with you, my friend.
Let's do this again, Kev.
Yeah, anytime.
We'll go to break. When you come back, it's your old friends back on the broadcast, Jack Johnson and Luke Maley.
Back in Hyannis, Jack Johnson, Luke Maley. Back in on the broadcast. For the top of the 9th, the Firebirds hold a 3-0 advantage. And here's the first pitch, Nick McCleary to lead things off. Then will be the top of the order, and Luke Keishel and J.D. Urso. First pitch to McCleary at 93 miles per hour. From the right hand on the mound of Austin Amaral. He kicks and fires. And that's in for a strike. Well, the board hasn't updated in right field. Now it has. First pitch missed for a ball. I just want to make sure I still maintain my sanity there. So now it's 1-1, and here's the pitch from Amaral. McCleary watches it for strike 2 on the outside corner. A slider puts him behind in the count. The Firebirds had an eventful top of the 8th. Jack Bolger reached on a pop fly that Spur couldn't find. Then Drew Metzdorf had a pop fly in the infield in foul territory in between Corona and Shanuel. And then both players either lost it in the night sky or in the lights here at McKeon Park, and it dropped in between them. But Metzdorf struck out swinging. Then Garrick Gilmet and Jacob Stinson, the pinch hitter, with 2 of their hardest hit balls of the year, both with flyouts to the track. 1-2 pitch skips in off the plate away from McCleary for ball 2. In total, the Firebirds didn't score a run. They have had a hit in every frame except for the 5th. Night where they have 12 hits. Their best offensive performances of the season just hasn't been completely reflected in the scoring column as of yet. Put up 6 in the 9th against YD, their last road game. McCleary swings at the 2-2, bounces it right back to Amaral. He fields, slips to his knees, picks himself up, and throws in time for out number 1.
Well, top of the order coming up in Keishel and Urso, and that's been a part of the order that today has done a lot of damage, as well as throughout the course of the season. Firebirds just looking to add maybe another run of insurance, leading comfortably 3-0, but this is a Hyannis offense that can always strike at any time.
Yeah, the 4-run lead, for whatever reason, always feels safer than the 3-run lead.
You know what feels a little bit safer than 4 runs?
5 runs.
5 runs.
Way safer.
We can do this the rest of the night, too. I'll keep climbing.
6 is better than 5.
7 better than 6.
Firebirds took an 8-run advantage into the bottom of the 9th at YD. Here's the pitch to Keishel. He lays off, and it's way outside, ball 1. Now it counts now at 1-1. Keishel took a first pitch for a strike. Firebirds facing Amaral on the bump. So it's a righty-on-righty matchup between Amaral and Keishel. It's the first time that Austin Amaral has seen the Firebirds. As here's his 1-1 delivery. It's in there for a strike. Out of Stetson, teammates with Cole Stallings. This is his 8th game of the summer. He's thrown 19 2/3. 14 strikeouts to 7 walks. Got McCleary out on a bounce out right back to him for the first down of the inning. Here's his 1-2 pitch. Keishel gets tied up but fights it off, muscles it foul on a weak chopper down the third base line. That came in at 94 miles per hour, and it was headed straight for the handle of Luke Keishel's bat.
Seen quite a few broken bats here today, most of them belonging to the Firebirds.
On the way, the pitch, and Keishel swings and misses for strike 3. So Keishel, with a strikeout in this contest, his first, now has 46 strikeouts. Caden Grice has reached the 50 mark, but Keishel, 3rd in the league in strikeouts. Here's the first pitch to J.D. Urso. It's low, below the zone for ball 1. And at 93 from Amaral. Now Amaral ready from the windup. The pitch. Swung on and tapped foul off the bat of Urso. Urso so far today, a great day. Has a RBI, a single and a double. His RBI, a 6-3 unassisted double play turned by Mitch Jebb. But it did score a run. Nick McCleary dashed to the plate. That made it a 2-0 game. Here's the pitch. Look out, J.D. Urso. He spins out of the way, and it's 2-1 as that fastball flew inside. So Amaral has not pitched since July 25th. Urso swings and misses for strike 2. As Amaral pulls the string, goes with the changeup there. Last time Amaral towed the rubber, he got banged around by Falmouth. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Urso extends the barrel, flips it into right field. Should be a routine play for Sirota, and it is. So Austin Almiral's ninth inning, much better than that Falmouth game. He didn't record an out, saw 4 batters, gave up 4 earned runs. Now he retires the Firebirds in order and gives his Hyannis Harbor Hawks a chance in the ninth inning with the offense. So it'll be Hyannis, who has been shut out so far in this contest with 5 hits, coming to the plate where Cole McConnell, Nolan Shanuel, and Drew Earhart will lead things off. And a new pitcher in the game for Ryan Barassa. As Kelly Nicholson has gone to the bullpen, it's the Rockland Trust call to the pen. For the 3rd time in this contest, it's Barassa. When it's time for a trusted arm, think Rockland Trust on 70 Main Street in Orleans, your home for banking, investment, and insurance services. Barassa enters the game. He's got that 2-pitch mix, but you don't need to have an expansive pitch mix when you have that off-speed pitch as devastating as Barassa's splitter.
Yeah, Barassa attacks really with all of his pitches. Pretty balanced approach, but Barassa is a guy that loves to go to that splitter, and you can see why. He's got great numbers on it. Barassa with another save opportunity. We've kind of seen him be the guy in the late innings as of late for Kelly Nicholson's group. It's really a closer room that has shifted all season long. First it was A.J. Bluebaugh, and we saw a bit of Cooper McKeon late in games, not really in those safe situations, but it went from A.J. to Chris Clark, who then became a starter. Now Ryan Barassa, hearing his name called, there was a little period in between there where Tommy Hoppy seemed to be the late man in contests. But for today, and as of late, Ryan Barassa.
So Ben Shields threw 6 innings. Then Ryan Resos came in for an inning. And Cole Stallings pitched the 8th, which has set the stage now for Barassa. Right-handed pitcher will face Cole McConnell, Shanuel, and Earhart. Neither of those 3 have gotten a hit. Shanuel drew a walk, one of the 2 walks the Harbor Hawks have drawn in this game. Barassa, after a shaky start to his tenure as a Firebird, where he gave up 2 hits and 2 earned runs against Harwich on July 13th, has thrown 5 scoreless innings. He pitches with a 3-run cushion. Here's his first pitch in the ninth, just below the strike zone to Cole McConnell for ball 1.
Well, in 5 scoreless innings, he's also only issued 2 hits and 2 walks, so he's done it with relative ease over those outings. Hasn't made anything interesting, looking to keep that streak going tonight.
McConnell swings and taps it foul to the backstop. Cole McConnell last up at the plate in the 7th inning. Barassa ready with the 1-1. And the pitch. McConnell watches it as it skips in. So it's 2-1 to Cole McConnell. And the pitch. McConnell swings and misses for strike 2. Last time up, McConnell bounced into a fielder's choice. Two on the way, and a swing and a tap foul off the bat of McConnell to stay alive. Harbor Hawks with 5 hits tonight. They have not driven in a run and really left that many guys on base either. Barassa kicks and fires. The splitter just outside. A little bit too much lateral movement away from McConnell, the lefty. So it's a 3-2 count now. Barassa spins the ball in his right hand behind his back. Now comes set, the 3-2 pitch on the way. McConnell way in front. Squibs it foul. To the pole side, down the first base line. We'll try the 3-2 again. After those 2 hits that Barraza surrendered to Harwich, pitched 2 nights later in the victory against Harwich, he's allowed just 2 hits and 2 walks. Pitch on the way. Strikeout to McConnell, starts the 9th.
Yeah, that's a really good pitch there from Barraza. And he wins the long battle between the two. Firebirds just 2 outs away from securing their 3rd win in a row.
Haven't really seen Barraza all that much in recent games. He kicks and fires the first pitch. 1 on and tap foul. Off the bat of Nolan Shanuel. It's been a over 2 night for Shanuel. Pair of groundouts to Nick McCleary. A walk in the 7th to lead it off. He was stranded there. 2 hits in the top of the 8th. But in between that was a double play. Swing and a miss on the 0-1 on a pitch in the dirt. So Shanuel has put himself behind with an ultra-aggressive plate approach against Barraza. There's the danger in that splitter. Barraza comes set, looking for the 2nd out of the 9th. Here's the 0-2. Shanuel swings, grounds this right side. Urso to Anita, fielded, a almost wild throw, handled by Jones with his foot on the bag for the 2nd out. Threw that just about a couple feet up the foul line towards home plate, and a nice stretch by Jones, athletic play, to secure the 2nd out.
Yeah, so the Firebirds just 1 out away from picking up the win. They would move further ahead of Harwich, who has lost tonight by a score of 8-5 to the Brewster Whitecaps. That game at Brewster.
And the Firebirds trying to distance themselves from the Chatham Anglers. The Anglers have a chance in the 9th to secure a victory that would keep them within striking distance of Orleans. It's 0-1 from Barraza to Drew Earhart. Here's the pitch. 0-2. Pitch on the inside corner. Barraza has put the Harbor Hawks down to their final strike. And the Firebirds trying to avenge the 3-0 loss in McKeon Park in game number 2. Many of the players donning the digital camo jerseys weren't even members of the team in that game. Here's Barraza's 0-2, and it skips well in front of the plate, blocked by Guillemette. That's 1-2 now, 81-mile-per-hour splitter. Firebirds lost 3-0 in that contest. It was part of a unassuming start for Orleans. So they got out of the gate and started 1-4-1 before turning things around with a sweep of a doubleheader against Falmouth at the end of the first week. Been a middling team ever since. 1-2 on the way, tap foul from Earhart. Meanwhile, Hyannis has been one of the best teams on the Cape all summer long, but especially in the month of July, where they're 12-5-3. They have lost 3 of their last 4 games, picked up a 7-3 victory against Katuitt last night. Firebirds trying to make it 4 out of 5 for Hyannis in the loss column, 4 out of 5 in the win column for them. Here's the pitch, and swung on and tap foul again, as it was grazed off the bat of Earhart, who is fighting for his life up there. Drew Earhart is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Barraza has already recorded a strikeout. Here in the top of the 9th. Bottom of the 9th, rather. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way from Barraza. It skips in. So at several points, Barraza has pitched 1 strike away from recording the 27th out against the Harbor Hawks. Has yet to get it. He comes set. Here's the 2-2 pitch on the way. And outside, good take by Earhart, who was originally down 0-2 in this count and has worked it full. Earhart coming off a good night last night. He was 2 of 3 with a walk. Here's the pitch. He swings and misses for strike 3, and the Firebirds have their 4th win coming out of the All-Star break. the hottest team in the Cape Cod Baseball League. They knock off the best team in this league for their third straight victory, and the Firebirds are red hot in this closing stretch as they look to make their surge toward the postseason. Tonight's final score, 3-0 against Hyannis. Barasa comes in and seals the deal in the ninth, all set up by 6 spectacular innings from Ben Shields. And the Birds now just 3 games under 500 with the longest win streak on the Cape of 3 games.
Yeah, and how about that? Talk about flipping the script. You get 2 games here at McKeon Park between these two teams. The first one came on June 13th, 3-0 loss for the Firebirds. They flipped the script. That was a game that Cole Stallings took home the loss in. Today, Ben Shields delivers a masterful start, and he earns his 3rd win of the season, and it's none other than a 3-0 final score here. So the Firebirds really showing the improvement that they've seen over the course of the year. There's really not much, Jack, that you can take away with your head hung on this one for the Firebirds, except for the fact that they did get 12 hits and only manufacture 3 runs. You talk about last night, 5 errors. Tonight, a big 0 up there. So a lot better all around from the Firebirds. They do only get 3 runs, but it's by far enough to get another win.
Yeah, they clean up the defensive mistakes from last night. They play spectacular defense tonight. They generated offense in almost every frame, just 2 frames that they had where they did not record a hit. And all in all, it tallies up to a 3-0 victory for Orleans. Their 4th in 5 games coming out of the All-Star break. This team on a roll, and now J.D. Urso standing by with the 3rd member of our team, Kevin McNulty.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Jack. You mentioned the Birds have won 4 of 5 out of the All-Star break, and J.D., you guys have just been on a roll offensively, and then those pitchers on the mound. Why have you guys been so successful over the past 5 games?
Recently we've really kind of bared down mentally. We've had a lot of talks to coach, talking about going in the postseason. It's not the best team that wins, it's the hottest team that wins. And so we really just been focusing on gaining momentum every game, meshing personality-wise. We've got a great group of kids, and just working hard with our coaches and understanding what we have to do every night to execute.
And speaking of the mental side of the game, you were 1 for 3 at one point tonight with 2 double plays. You had grounded into 2 double plays. Next time up, you came up and hit a double in the gap almost out to the fence. And Jay is a stud indeed. I mean, is that just kind of what you're talking about, just kind of washing your last at-bat and going up there and hitting?
Yeah, I was a little frustrated with those 2 double plays. Just I didn't get deep in the count. Just kind of rushed the at-bat a little bit. Instead of, waiting for the pitch I wanted to handle, I kind of hit the pitch the pitcher wanted me to hit. And so going into that 4th at-bat, I really wanted to see a couple pitches. I had saw the mix. He was throwing that slider and that curveball, mid-90s fastball. So I knew I had to stay in the legs and just be on time for any pitches coming. And so battled him pretty good, and then got me a fastball middle in, which is what I want to handle, and was able to put a good swing on it.
And for you guys that came up here midpoint in the season, like you and Drew Metzdorf, been able to contribute pretty much right away. I mean, what's it like, coming up here and just, having a next man up mentality and having success out here over the past week?
Yeah, especially for me and Drew. We don't play Division I baseball, and coming up, you're a little nervous. How's it going to be? Swinging it with the big boys. But I just cannot say enough about my teammates. From the day I stepped in Orleans, everyone was so welcoming. Welcome to the club. This is how we do things. This is how we roll. This is our pregame routine, and it was able to hit the ground running because of how the teammates welcomed us. And Drew was off to a great start too. I mean, every night it seems like he's just hitting baseballs hard over and over again. And I think we got a good group of kids right here. We're gaining momentum, and I think the Birds are going to have something to say when these playoffs come around.
Thank you so much, JD. JD Urso, 2 for 5 again tonight, 2 big hits, and a pleasure to talk to. Jack and Luke, I'll send it back your way to close things out.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Well, J.D. Urso, a 2 for 5 night, but records an RBI as a single and a double. And as he said, he's been able to hit the ground running alongside Drew Metzdorf. And these guys have really sparked new life into the Firebirds. All of a sudden, Orleans, which had been losers of 4 straight heading into the All-Star break, have turned things around after that extended break. And now all of a sudden you find them as the hottest team on the Cape, was winners of 3 consecutive games and 4 of their last 5. And what has impressed me is not that they have won 4 of their last 5, but it's the caliber of the competition of which they have succeeded against during the stretch.
They've won 3 games in a row. You look at the standings, they've won 3 games in a row against the top teams in their respective division. 2 in a row against YD, who's first in the East, and pretty much have that locked up headed to the postseason. And then Hyannis sitting atop the West Division. So the Firebirds knocking off the best competition right now. And I think J.D. Urso said it best. I think the Firebirds are going to have something to say when the playoffs roll around. Just love that interview with Kevin McNulty. J.D. Urso, a super cerebral type of player. You can see it just watching him go up to the plate. He's got an approach in the field. He's got an approach and, comes up super well spoken. And it's great to see a look into his mindset as well as the Firebirds because they're playing some really good ball right now. And I fully expect this momentum to keep rolling into the coming days where they get Brewster twice in a row.
Well, think about the situation 5 days ago when Orleans played Chatham on Monday night. Orleans entered the bottom of the 8th, trailing 2-1. And in a game where they couldn't afford to lose, otherwise they'd slip out of the playoff picture against the Anglers, they came out of nowhere, scored 4 runs in that frame, propelled them to a 5-2 victory, then almost had comeback magic against the Bourne Braves, and then 3 in a row ever since, as you mentioned, against the 2 best teams on the Cape. So the Firebirds have come from the depths of the abyss almost in this Eastern Division to now having an opportunity going into a game against Brewster at home tomorrow and then on the road on Monday, where you sweep those 2 games and the Firebirds would have won 5 in a row and been second in the division, setting themselves up for an opportunity to not only play in the postseason, but dictate who is going to be their competitor and have home field advantage setting up for that series. So things can change very quickly in this Cape Cod summer, and they have many times for Orleans, but it's all about peaking at the right time, and that's what the Birds have done.
That's exactly right. There's no better time to be playing your best baseball than exactly this moment. Firebirds putting themselves in a great position to make the playoffs, especially coming into tonight, trailing Brewster by just 3. It's going to stay that way with a Brewster win, but they extend their lead over Harwich, and Chatham, who is 2 back of them right now, battling in the 9th. They have 2 out with 2 on, so the scoring, or the winning run, that is, on at second base in the bottom of the 9th. So going to be interesting to see how everything plays out. Firebirds have not locked anything up, but they've put themselves in great position there tonight at the end of the night, being sole position in that 3rd place spot. So really some good things to come for Orleans.
So they're going to distance themselves from Harwich a little bit. They've won 3 in a row. They've improved to 17, 20, and 4 on a 3-game win streak. Winners of 4 of their last 5, and that's going to wrap up tonight's broadcast. From Hyannis, the Birds take it 3-0. Want to thank everybody on our crew, our production manager, Nicholas Riccio, our executive producer, Bob O'Donnell, third member of our team, Kevin McNulty. Thanks to Jack Loader for stopping by on the play-by-play side. My partner and good friend, Luke Maley. My name's Jack Johnson. The Birds have won 3 in a row and are sailing towards the postseason. We'll pick things up tomorrow on the Firebirds TV network as the Birds host Brewster.